Welcome to the 8-Bit Cat Show, the hipsterest place on the internet. We're going to geek out over some nerdy things we love with some cats. Our first segment, as always, is Clouder Club. Since we were off for the last 2 weeks due to a bunch of us moving around and everything, we're going to cover Star Trek Lower Decks episodes 5 through 7, as well as Marvel What Ifs episode 5 through 7.
Speaking of cats, one's trying to get in my lap right now.
That's sexy.
I think we should acknowledge the fact that we are in a completely different space than we are normally in our episodes.
Yep.
We're not going to tell you our address, but we did move.
We're located.
No. Shut your face.
Bailey has joined the podcast.
What was it? Yeah, as you guys can tell, we're missing one of our cohorts here. But luckily, we actually have it on a phone, and we did a little jerry-rigging and got it all together, and we'll probably put the picture here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, here?
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. We did just move, so we're doing this without internet tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think you should bleep this out. Excuse me. Something there.
But as always, I am your host, Stephanie Katz. This is Bailey. She has joined us this evening. We've got Peter on the phone. Say hi, Peter.
I'm here.
You're supposed to say hi, Peter. Gosh,
Hi,
dang it.
Peter, or I'm here. What? Yeah, we know you're here.
God, this guy.
Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach.
Tom.
Hi-oh.
Yay. All right, so let's dive into some Star Trek. Peter.
Lower Decks,
Not
though.
Peter. Tom. I'm all confused.
I still haven't watched it, not once. So I'm still picking up where you guys left off, which was after they came back from that planet and the zombie angry people did whatever they were doing on the ship, and then
That was
they
like
came back.
episode 2. We're on
Was
episode
that?
5, sir.
Some
Was
of the
it-
stuff is episode 1.
Was
Yeah, that was
episode
episode
5
one.
the one where she basically like came to terms with her mom after she did some random
That was
crap?
episode 4, so
Oh
you're
damn,
getting there.
man, I'm getting there.
Episode 4 was where we left off. You are correct.
Oh, okay.
There
So
you
now
go.
we're on episode 5. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So
Now we're on
okay,
episode
so it was after the lazy lady got back with her mom. It was okay. Got it.
Yeah, so episode 5 has Mariner suspicious of Boimler's new girlfriend,
That's her name.
Mariner's her
While-
name.
That's her name.
while Tendi and Rutherford grow jealous of the bigger starship's gear.
What was the bigger starship's name?
It's a great question, Peter. What was that starship name?
I'm sorry, what happened? The main one?
God, this episode's
No,
so
not
great.
the USS Cerritos.
In episode 5, when they go to that other starship and they've got like the T-80s or whatever, what was the name of that starship?
Isn't it the Titan?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Thank you.
So it's a bigger starship.
It was nicer. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the biggest, newest one in the fleet.
Oh.
And
It's-
the Cerritos is still like the piece of shit.
It's the same
Oh, so-
class as the Enterprise.
So little man syndrome.
Yeah, it's the same class starship as the Enterprise.
Yeah, so the episode starts off where Boimler's talking about how, when they meet up with the Titan, he's going to get to see his girlfriend. And Mariner's like,
Girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Bullshit.
So
He's got
totally,
one.
yeah, like totally giving him shit because Boimler doesn't have a girlfriend. She's like make-believe, right? So
He's totally
and then-
getting catfished for sure.
For sure. And then Tendi and Rutherford are nerding out because they're like, oh my god, we're going to go like see all their like really cool stuff and we're going to get to play with it.
Much better equipment. Yeah.
So they get to the ship and Boimler's like looking around like, oh, where is she? Where is she? Like Mariner's like, pussy, you're called out. And then like this, because like Boimler's like a 4 and this like 12 walks out. And like is like, oh,
I didn't realize you were
there's
attracted to women, let alone cartoon women. All right. Calling her a 12.
my- Shit, I just moved the thing.
Oh, you just moved the
see?
thing? God damn it.
Sorry, I'm trying to pet the cat. She's being good.
Oh, no,
girl.
it's the Vancouver.
Oh, the Vancouver. We weren't even right.
Not even
Nice.
close.
The Titan. Man,
No.
what were you guys watching?
I don't know.
The Titan. Oh, no, my bad. The Titan's a different ship that shows up later. That just.
Good spoiler.
Damn it, Peter.
But yeah, so Mariner's all like, what the fuck? This girl is real? Like, how? So she spends the entire episode trying to prove that she's some sort of like shapeshifter or parasite or something, because there's no way that this girl is interested in Boimler. There's just no way. It's like, no.
Not possible.
Right.
Supposedly.
So, she's like scanning her and then
Scanning her.
like a tricorder, like trying to scan her, trying to like see if she's got
weird
like
shit.
a.
She's like, oh, it's definitely a parasite.
It's
Oh, she's an
definitely a
alien.
parasite.
She's an android.
Damn it, her fucking boobs are like 34 Bs. Fuck.
And then
Pretty
she gets in Boimler's head, and so Boimler starts acting like super, super weird, trying to be a cool kid. And he goes to the replicator and like replicates himself an outfit, which is just a conglomeration.
Conglomeration.
Yeah, I had a real trouble with that word. Of like all this different stuff. So it's got like some Back to the Future stuff on it. It's got
No, he's wearing the leather jacket for sure.
yeah, like
He's got like a visor thing, like fancy sunglasses. He's like, replicator, replicate all the coolest outfits from
Like-
the 20th century.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all ridiculous.
and then
It's kinda great.
he's like, trying to act like a fool, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop."
And she only likes him because he's a nerdy little weirdo. It's like what she's into, and it's kind of funny.
Right. So, and then he like interrupts, like she's giving this briefing, security briefing, because they're supposed to be doing like a diplomatic mission or some crap, and
Or some crap.
or some crap. I never remember what the missions are because like they're always such a minuscule part of what's going on. Am I wrong, Peter?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, typically the missions, they were kind of designed that way since it's supposed to be the second contact crew. They're getting like the shit missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely the shit missions.
So, he like interrupts that. And she's like, "You need to go." And so then they end up, like on this platform thing, and it's just Boimler and her, and he thinks he's gonna get his on.
He does.
And Mariner's like, "No, I have to save Boimler. Like, he's about to get eaten by a parasite." So she like makes it to this platform thing and like barges in, and he's like practically naked. Or is he naked? He might actually.
He's
be
100% naked, and I remember the mission. They're gonna blow up a moon because it's gonna it's degrading its orbit. It's gonna kill everybody on the planet. But none of the people that actually live on the moon or on the planet can agree whether or not they should destroy this planet.
But it turns out it's only this super rich dude and his wife. It's like instead of buying an island, he
They
bought
a planet.
Yeah.
A moon. It's a moon. It's just a moon.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so she barges in, and he's like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" And like, "Oh, I'm naked." And then the girl comes in, and like her and Mariner like kind of go at it.
They have a fight.
Boimler gets knocked out, and so they're like having this whole knockout duel or whatever. And then finally, they just sit down and they just like start talking and swapping like stupid Boimler stories, like dumb shit he's done. And she's like, why didn't you just like come out and ask me, and I would have just let you like, and we could have solved this whole thing. And she's like, oh, okay. So she like scans her like, and they're like, okay, no parasites detected. And then it like moves, and it's like parasite detected. And it turns out that the parasite was on Boimler the whole time. And the way it works is it's in order for it to like continue its species, is it attaches itself to a host and then releases pheromones to attract a mate. So she didn't really like him at all. It was just the parasite.
Ouch. That's some.
Oh no, she
horrible
did in
shit.
fact like him. She liked him before the parasite. Actually, that's at the end of the episode too. She actually liked him before the parasite.
Oh, really?
But
No,
she has to focus on her career.
I thought it was unclear whether or not I don't know. I kind of got the feeling like she just told him that so that it wouldn't like hurt his feelings as much.
No,
but
I don't think so.
Anyway, so in the meantime, while all that is going on, like I said, Tendy and Rutherford were like nerding out about the equipment on the ship, right? And they meet up with like the head security officer dude. I don't fucking remember what he was. But he's like, all right, I'm going to give each of you this super fancy T-80. And he's got like a whole wall of them. And they're like, it's kind of one of those things where they're not even out yet, but somehow this ship has them. And so, and he's like, all right, and whichever one of you finish doing all of this scanning first, I'm going to let you keep it. And they're like, oh my god, right? So they're running around trying to scan all these things and like making a huge competition with each other and like starting to really tear each other down. So it comes to the end and turns out they tied. So the guy was like, okay, cool, you both get to keep them. Oh, here's your transfer paper. And they were like, oh, we thought you meant like we'd be able to take them back to the ship. And he's like, oh, no, like keep them, like I'm gonna transfer you here to the ship. And what he was really trying to do is he wanted to get off of that ship because he was like wanted to go back to just being like in the background dude. Mr. Kitty, what are you doing?
Basically, Docent, the guy, the chief engineer, the one that did all this, super doesn't like being on a ship that actually sees a bunch of action because it's dangerous and scary.
Yeah, he wants to transfer himself and get them. He's gonna switch them and go, oh yeah, cool, yeah, because he's basically a little bitch.
Yeah. So they end up. Did they break the pad? How did they end up getting him to not do it? I don't remember.
I didn't really watch the
Rutherford is a cyborg, so he has an implant and recorded the entire conversation.
Oh, right.
And he
incriminates
goes,
him.
oh, what if I could just send this to the admiral? And he's like, okay, no, you guys keep those. And they both steal a bunch.
So yeah, it's really funny. And then episode 6, the lovable but awkward Ensign Fletcher makes work difficult for Mariner and Boimler. Rutherford introduces Tendi to a holodeck training program that he created. It's the description from IMDb.
Yeah.
So there's this dude, Ensign Fletcher, and he's basically like the super nice, awkward, but like super fuck up guy. Like...
Oh yeah, Fletcher.
So he's like super nice, and he offers. There's this like fancy event going on. Is the choo choo dance? Choo choo.
It's a concert they want to go to.
The choo-choo dance.
Yeah.
Choo-choo. No, it's something choo-choo something.
Choo choo. It's not choo choo train.
No, it's not.
But yeah, so they really want to go to this, and Fletcher's like, oh, okay, guys, don't worry. Like, you go. I'll stay here, and I'll finish up all this stuff. But, like, he also really screws stuff up real bad. So, he gets really tired and starts kind of like...
Peter sent a picture for us. Mariner had shirts made up. They're great.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, so they come back and Fletcher's like knocked the fuck out. And they're like, oh God, what happened? And he's like, oh no, I don't know. Like, oh God, someone stole a core. Like, and they're like, oh, we have to find this because if something goes wrong, like they're going to notice really quick because this controls important shit like shields and stuff.
Right.
So then they're like, oh, it had to be Delta crew. So they go to like fourth shift basically. So they go confront them and they're like arguing, and then Delta crew's like, bro, wait, weren't you at a choo-choo dance? Like, we were right behind you, like freaking out. Like, didn't you see when she did the thing? And then it was the third choo-choo-choo. And they're like, oh shit. And then Fletcher's like, oh, well, it was alien, attacked by alien. So then they like go back to their quarters and they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna go to bed, we'll figure it out later. And something falls out of his like rack.
Bunk.
Yeah.
I think it's rack, yeah.
I was like, I couldn't think of the word. Rack. And they were like, Fletcher, that's the fucking core. Like, what are you doing? We need to go put this back, like, right away. And then it starts doing weird shit. And they're like, Fletcher, what the fuck did you do? And he thought that because he has, like, a weird helmet thing. And he was like, oh, if I put the helmet on me and plug it into the core, then...
It would make him super smart.
And then he could fix it.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It did not work. No, it doesn't go well for him.
Huh.
Yep, real bad backfire. And so while this is going on, they're having a standoff. Like the Cerritos is having a standoff against a scavenger ship because they found this 100-year-old Federation wreckage. And the scavengers are like, no, like, it's been 100 years. Like, this is ours. We found it. Finders keepers.
It's got Federation logo on it, though. And, like, this is
Federation property. So they're like in this standoff thing, and the main security officer on the Cerritos is like, let's just blow them up! Ah, blow everybody up! Ah, blow them up! She's like, no, we have to be diplomatic. Like, we're gonna get through this. Like, it's fine. And so, like, they're gonna have to do a spacewalk to get all this stuff once the standoff is complete, and they like figure everything out. So Tendi's freaking out because she actually never did a spacewalk. Like, she kind of skipped that part in her training.
She never passed her spacewalk training. No.
Nice.
So Rutherford is like, oh, well, I created this really cool holodeck training. Like, we can go and I'll show you how to do a spacewalk. It's totally fine. So they go to the holodeck, and while they're in the holodeck, Fletcher's monster thing.
It's an out of control AI.
Yeah, and it starts just
imprinted
sucking.
his brain in there, and it starts incorporating all the technology it can and becoming more powerful and angry. And it keeps fucking up the ship. So guess what happens? Safety protocols on the holodeck go down. Pretty standard Star Trek fare.
Yeah.
But his training program is involved. He's got Badgie, which is an anthropomorphized Star Trek logo. Badge. It's Badgie.
Yeah.
It's just like Microsoft Clippy. He's like, oh, I see you want to do training. Can I help you with that?
Yeah.
And it's voiced by Jack McBrayer, so it's even better. It's fucking hilarious. So the safety protocols disengage, and Badgie
decides he wants to kill them.
He's got a little too much. He's a little too self-aware.
Yeah.
So he just starts ripping the limbs off of all the holographic people in there, trying to go after them to murder them.
He's like, I'm gonna rip your entrails out and eat them.
Oh, it's super fucked up the whole time. It's,
yeah.
Honestly, it goes almost past funny at some points, and you're like, wait a second. And then it goes back so far that it's funny again.
And meanwhile, the scavengers are like, oh, well, you know what? We don't actually have to fire on the ship, because if we fire on the Cerritos, then it's going to be all. But you know what we can do? They start tractor beaming in shit and basically throwing it at the Cerritos.
Because they don't have any weapons. They're just a scavenger ship. They don't actually have any weapons.
And the shields start failing because the monster thing is like,
Taking all the power and shit.
yeah.
So everything starts going haywire. The Cerritos is about to die just because these asshole scavengers are just throwing space garbage at them.
And then I don't remember,
So-
how did they fix it?
How they fixed it was they then they somehow are able to actually shove the giant AI thing
shoved
into
it
an
out,
airlock.
and it attached to the scavenger ship.
Yeah, so then it freaks out. Their ship starts blowing up and destroying and stuff like that. So then they finally get the go ahead to just blow it up.
And then they decide that they're going to give Fletcher the credit. Be like, oh yeah, it's totally Fletcher's idea to do that. Yeah. So they're like, oh, Fletcher, you've been promoted. So we're going to send you to this other ship. Enjoy your promotion. And everyone's like, oh, thank
I
God.
finally got rid of that guy. And then he immediately there's it's almost a post-credit scene. He's calling him back, and he's like, "Hey guys, thanks for getting me promoted. I already got fired. I've been transferred back to Earth now." And like, "Oh no, sorry, you're breaking up." Oh no, bleep. It's like, "Oh, fuck you, Fletcher."
And then episode 7,
Piece of shit.
Mariner tries to impress her best friend from the Starfleet Academy, who's now a captain. And Boimler is sent to Starfleet Medical after a transport accident puts him out of phase.
The fuck was that?
You good, Peter?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
You like rapping over there?
No, my foot almost fell. I'm gonna flip with my phone.
So
we have a cat. Her name is Valkyrie, and she loves to play with charging cables.
That's great.
Yeah, so she keeps going after my phone's charger,
oh,
and it's just not helping the situation.
send me a picture of her. I'm gonna put her right here.
Wait, where?
All right.
There.
There?
No, right here.
Oh, okay, that makes
No,
more sense.
up there. Yep, there's fine.
That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Derp. So her super best friend from Starfleet Academy is now a captain, and the captain of the Cerritos has to go on this like super secret mission to do whatever the fuck. I don't even know. So they're off. So she's like
Whatever the fuck, I don't even know.
I don't remember. I was prepared for this like 2 weeks ago, guys. Like,
So I remember this episode, and everybody who's watching, here's a spoiler. I don't remember. Don't even fucking know.
Peter, when was the last time you watched this episode?
Episode 7 of Lower Decks?
Yeah.
God. It was 6 or 7 months ago?
So yeah, there, take that. But
So what was what did they do, Peter? What were they for?
What are the secret mission for?
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember. It didn't really matter what the mission for her was for. It was just an explanation for why she wasn't on the ship. And they had Mariner's old classmate there.
yeah, so my brain died. My brain died.
You don't even fucking know.
Okay, so they're all like, oh my god, visiting captain, you know, it's basically just like a bunch of babysitting duty. It's like super stupid, like, whatever. But then it turns out, you know, it's her friend, and she's like, oh my god! And her friend's like, oh my god! They're like freaking out, right?
So they did this, and then they did that?
Oh, sorry, my hair
Oh my god!
My hair's
Oh my
annoying.
God. Like one did this, and then one did this?
I don't know. Yeah,
So they did two different actions when they greeted each other.
Yeah, they
No,
have.
that was me just fucking, because this is annoying. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Basically, the whole point of the episode is that Mariner's excited because it's going to be a substitute captain, and it's just like when you had a substitute teacher in middle school.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, either we get to do nothing, or we get to try and make them cry. This is going to be a great day.
But then it's her friend.
And there's her friend, and she's
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So her friend makes her number 2.
Oh, nice.
Number 2. Make it so.
So they have to go on this mission to unblock some water source for this people on this planet. And like Mariner's kind of fucking up.
Like a lot.
Like bad.
Pretty terrible.
Isn't that like her thing, though?
No,
She's the most competent one.
she's generally actually the most competent one. She's just lazy and doesn't care.
Yeah, like not fucking off, like fucking up. Like, oh, I left the tricorders up on the Cerritos. Oh no.
Like, 'cause she's just fucking around with her friend kind of thing?
No, she well, how they play it is that it seems very serious, but what I guess the reveal is at the end is that she was fucking up on purpose because she
Because-
knew that her friend wanted her to basically
Get promoted.
to be a captain too, and she's like, I don't fucking want to do that. So they finally have to like get together and actually fix something. And so she immediately like kicks into, okay, I'm a fucking badass. I'm gonna fix all
Well,
this shit.
so what happened
mode.
is after they fucked up the water thing, something goes terribly wrong, and they had found that abandoned ship. There was an abandoned ship, and they're like, oh, that's weird. Where are all the people? So they get on. The ship has like no power, no anything. Getting some serious like alien vibes. And they're all like hiding in this one area. And so Mariner and her friend had went to find the crew while she left the other 3 people that were in the away team, part of like the captains. It was like her people. They're in trying to get the ship back online. And when they get into this room and find the people, the lady's like, oh no, don't turn anything on. Like, you don't understand. It's gonna come back. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what? And of course, then the away team people get the shit turned on, and then it's like this energy sucking monster thing. And then that's when everything starts going horribly awry. That's when Mariner's like kicks and is super badass because she's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, this isn't like, oh yeah, you just need to turn the wrench to turn the water source back on. Like, no, like, this is fucking serious shit. So
they fix everything.
while they're doing all that, Boimler wants to impress the new captain, right? Or the visiting captain. Because he's like, I'm promoted in Starfleet, yeah. So he goes to Rutherford, who's been playing with this transporter thing.
Transporter. It's not a transporter thing. It's just a transporter.
He's trying to get the transport time like down, so that instead of taking like 5 seconds, it only takes 2.5 seconds. And Boimler comes in and he's like, oh, Boimler, help me test this out. And I'm like, okay. So Boimler like gets in. And he goes,
They test it out. It works perfect.
perfect.
Even faster than it normally is.
Right.
It's amazing.
So then
So they try
Boimler-
again. Do it even faster.
and he gets gets all phased.
He's
So
out of phase. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like this blue glowing thing, and Rutherford's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's just cosmetic, like it'll go away. And he's also making like that
This
the
really
transporter
loud,
noise.
annoying humming noise the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole
Like
show.
super loud.
Now, meanwhile, in between, I guess it was in between 6 and 7, Tendi made a dog. Like, she got a bunch of DNA and just, like, made a dog. And was like,
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
But
That's right.
Yes.
but she's also an alien and has no idea what a dog actually is.
so she's like, oh no, it's just a normal dog. And its name is Dog. They're like, you named the dog
Dog.
No,
She's
no,
like, yeah.
she named it the dog.
The dog.
It's a dog named the dog.
So then she like walks away, and every time they're alone with this thing, like it does weird shit. Like its head goes all exorcist and it like walks on the walls, or like it starts making like weird fucking noises, or it shape shifts into something. But every time Tendy's around, it doesn't do that. And they're like, bro, what the fuck?
Real thing vibes. Like literally like a mouth comes out of its back, kind of stuff like that. Oh, it's super. It's great.
So Boimler goes to sick bay because he's, you know, all out of phasey. And or no, he tries to report to duty and like goes on the bridge and he's like, do, just ignore me, everything's fine, I'm here. And they're like,
Then just in the background.
you gotta go, bro, go to sick bay. So he goes to sick bay and Tendy's there with the dog. And he's there, and Rutherford found out how to at least make the noise go away.
He's like, oh, I know how to fix it. And he does it, and he goes, the noise just goes away. He's completely still fucked up. And they're like, well, you didn't fix me. And he goes, yeah, but the noise went away.
So they have to call the
farm.
The farm. And it's basically like
gotta
where
go to
they
the farm.
take the medical enigmas to try and get them better. So Boimler and the dog have to go.
And they get picked up on this like super creepy, like almost looks like a Klingon
They get
a
fucking
warbird.
picked up by
Does-
like fucking this Plo Koon looking dude.
He does look like Plo Koon. I didn't even think about that.
That was the first thing that I went through my head. I was like, that's fucking Plo Koon. Sup, dude?
He does kind of look like Plo Koon. But yeah, like super creepy ship is like red. It's all blacked out on the outside, and it's all like red lighting on the inside. The dude's like super creepy. He's sitting there going, he's like, yes, welcome to the farm.
Figured as much.
We'll have you to the farm shortly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome in.
He's
So-
he looks like
willkommen. Yeah.
You're wanting to get cured?
he
Sure.
he looks like Plo Koon and talks like Hannibal Lecter.
Welcome.
Yeah, no. So and the whole ship is just full of freaks. The Star Trek freaks. Like there's some great callback references to like other Star Trek episodes. Like they've got the guy. They got like one of the guys like in the box where it like beeps and stuff like that. So like because he can't actually talk. Beep 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 beep. So they got like a bunch of the different things. Like all the things you've ever seen go wrong in Star Trek. You're like, whatever happened to that guy? Well, apparently he's been on this ship the entire time.
But they start freaking out because they're like, no, like they're not actually trying to fix us. Like, you know,
We're just gonna be on this ship forever.
forever.
They're just trying to get rid of us.
About to get like sent away to die.
So they decide they're gonna mutiny. But Boimler, being fucking Boimler, is like, oh no, this is not good. So he goes to Plo Koon motherfucker and
Rats them all out.
rats them all out. And really, it's not like he's trying to like be a tattletale. He's just like, this is like bad. Like no, like the farm is a place. Like we're gonna be fine. Like I gotta fix this. So Plo Koon motherfucker. I don't know. I don't remember his name. So he's gonna be Plo Koon motherfucker.
I don't know if we need the motherfucker every time.
You need the
but,
motherfucker every time.
He just looks like an orange alien with a third arm.
Really, I think he gives me Plo Koon vibes. Anyway, so Plo Koon motherfucker goes down and he's all like, "You think you're going to mutiny?" And like chews them all out and like is like, "You're all gonna be in solitary confinement." And he's like, "Oh, and Boimler ratted you out." But he was like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, what?
Why would you reveal that? You can't do that.
He did it. But then it turns out that the farm is real.
And it's like super nice. It's like Maui on steroids. Like they finally like land and like because the captain of the farm ship is literally like going around. He's got guns in his hand. He's gonna start shooting everybody and taking them all. He's like, "You can't mutiny. I'll take you all out." Rah! because they've all been on this ship for like 3 years.
Yeah, wow.
And he's like, oh, it just takes a while. We got to go pick everybody up. You got to make the rounds before we can get back to the farm. They finally like land on the farm. The door opens up and everybody's like, oh, it's sunny. It's
Oh.
bright. There's people drinking Mai Tais everywhere. Oh, there's a pool. It's a resort. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and there's like massage and like all kinds of cool shit. And like right as Boimler's like, oh my god, this is gonna be fantastic, and he's getting ready to. These two girls walk up and they're gonna take him to get like massage.
Comes back in the face.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well you can go now.
He's like, oh, no, you're not actually a freak, so you actually have to go back to report to duty now.
And then the dog like. Tendy's like, goodbye, the dog. Like, you've been a good dog, and I'm gonna miss you. And the dog like goes to fly off, and she's like, I know, Tendy, I love you, and I was just trying to be the best. And Tendy's like, oh.
The dog starts talking, like legitimately starts talking, and they're like, dogs.
Can't.
Wait, no, they all tell you like, did you know the dogs could talk? She goes, yeah, of course. And you knew it could fly? Yeah. And all the other weird stuff? Yeah, it's a dog. It's supposed to do that. And they're like,
No.
you've never, what are you talking about? That's not what a dog does. She goes, well, I've never had a dog. I didn't know.
So then they get back to the ship. Everything's, all settled. Her friend's going back to her ship and go do her thing. And, they're like, oh, we'll stay in touch. But, you do your thing. You do you, boo. It's all good. And this girl comes and she has, like, an actual real dog. So Tendy walks up to it and she's like, oh, hey, what's your name? Like, trying to talk to it, like, the dog. And it licks her. And she's like, ah! And they're like, yeah, that's what dogs do.
That's a
And
dog.
And she's like, that's disgusting. And that's where it ended.
Oh.
Honestly, it's a pretty solid show overall. You actually should watch it, Tom.
Sounds interesting to
That
watch
was
now.
going to be my question. Now that you've gotten a few more episodes in, Stephanie, do you still hate Lower Decks?
I never hated it.
Oh, you liar.
I was just bored at the beginning. But yeah, now I'm starting to get more into it, and I saw that one of the upcoming episodes has one of my favorite Star Trek. I don't know if he's going to be in it or if it's just a reference to him, but it's
One of your favorites. Oh, yeah.
Tom. His last name I forget.
Valkyrie, bye.
What? No, none of us know.
I know. It's
I just
fine.
heard Tom, and I was like, what about me?
Yeah, isn't he? I'm forget. I don't remember what his last name, but it's
Major Tom.
It's Tom something.
Ground
Tom
control
something.
to
Help me,
Major
Peter.
Tom.
Help me.
I don't.
I don't. Are you talking about Tom Paris?
Yes. Thank you. I love Tom Paris. Paris is my fucking dude, yo.
I don't know Tom Paris. Who's Tom Paris?
Were you a Voyager fan?
No, fuck Voyager.
Well, that's why you don't know who Tom Paris is.
Janeway's okay, but fuck the rest of Voyager.
Ground control to Major Tom.
I think we had to get this episode now.
We gotta copyright that.
Season 2 of Lower Decks.
What?
I heard it from season 2, not season 1.
I mean, I was just scrolling through, so I don't know when it shows up, but I know it shows up eventually, and it made me happy. So, moving on from one franchise to another franchise, we had to kind of scoop two Clouder Cubs together.
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 We had to get them together.
Together.
Love. That's gonna be super loud.
Is
on
what
the-
brings
on the
us
mic,
together.
yeah. Everybody's gonna
today.
watch that. All of a sudden, it's gonna be like,
Wow.
Just like,
Ooh, love.
blow out everybody's speakers.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, throw that down a little bit.
before we move on, anything I missed? Anything anyone wants to mention from Star Trek?
Solid deep cut references to Star Trek, as always. That's kind of the whole point of the show. But I did get a lot of Futurama vibes from that last episode. I guess the Much Ado About Boimler. It's the name of the
Much
episode.
ado.
It's Much Ado Yeah, that's how you spell a do. Now I'm a little worried about your reading comprehension.
I thought it was pronounced a dough.
Definitely much ado. I've only ever read that word. You have to say that immediately so you just sound pretentious but also extremely intelligent. Come on. I've only ever read it.
I've only ever read it. I've never actually.
You ever seen the movie Much Ado About Nothing? You thought it was Much Ado About Nothing?
Yeah, I did.
like the Shakespearean play. Much Ado About Nothing.
Much ado about nothing. True love.
Oh, wow.
Do it.
All right, let's take a quick break for a moment before we move on to the next one.
We're all excited for the next episode for Lower Decks. Next one, we do get to have Q as the character.
Q's gonna show up? Oh, fucking
Like
A.
DQ?
John Delancey voicing him.
Wait, what?
Who is?
John Delancey.
Oh, is? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Tom on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. Share a password or something. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Somebody pay for my subscription, please, so I can watch these shows.
We don't share passwords, Paramount Plus. We would never do that. That would, of course, be against your terms
But
of
if
There
you-
would be
service.
terms of service.
But if you
Yeah.
support us on patreon.com/8bitcats, then Tom
could
can afford it.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, so the 8-Bit Cat Show's not just about cats. It's also about a bunch of nerdy shit that we're talking about all the time. So please support us on Patreon so that we can get an actual cat.
Duke, buddy.
We got cat issues over here, too.
Now that we're back.
So, Marvel's What If? We got episode. Well, we didn't get. They've been out, but we watched 5 through 7. God damn it, Duke. Stay.
Right before, actually, the season finale will be coming out.
Damn it.
The season, when we're recording this, the season finale of What If will be
It's
coming
already
out
out.
tomorrow. Comes out on Wednesday, I think. Comes out
Oh,
tomorrow, I
what's
think.
today?
Peter, can you still hear us?
Today's Tuesday.
Peta.
What's up?
Okay, sorry.
We had a cat.
Duke's up here fucking around with shit.
we had a catastrophe.
No.
Technical issues.
No. No.
Okay, so What If? Episodes 5 through 7. So episode 5 was when the Avengers are affected by a zombie plague, surviving heroes search for a clue.
It's Marvel
Cure.
zombies. Marvel zombies. So what if zombies?
So basically, it starts up like
Right at the beginning of what would that be? Infinity War.
yeah. When are you caught up on What If?
I haven't watched it at all.
Cool.
God damn it, Tom.
You just
God damn it, Tom.
Hey, look, you know what? When it really comes down to our show, I am the perfect audience for them and for you. I am them. They are me.
Well,
we are all the same.
I
You
thought
guys
you had
convinced
watched the
me
first
to
couple
watch this
episodes.
stuff. No, I have not watched any of those ones.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Are
anyway,
you just singing the Beatles over there?
so it starts off with
Should have
like
lied on the walrus.
after Bruce Banner comes crashing down to Earth and he crashes into.
Wait, sorry, Tom. You've seen Infinity War, right? The Marvel movie? The big one. It was in theaters.
The one where the Hulk was running up to the horde or whatever it was. No, I saw it. It's just a joke. I know that's a trailer. I know we're fucking around.
But yeah, so he crashes into Doctor Strange's house or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh man, we got it! I got it."
That would be the
Where's
Sanctum
everybody?"
Sanctorum.
Whatever. It's his house. He lives there, doesn't he?
It's like
not-
a mansion.
It's not really his house, though. It's just he's kind of the caretaker.
Isn't it like Infinite 2? It's like change.
No, it's just got like 3 different entrances that are all over the world.
Yeah.
But the comic does make it like a million times worse. There's a bunch of doors and that just lead somewhere. We're never really quite sure where it's gonna go.
It's got like 3 main entrances.
The roof, the front door.
Jeez. Fuck you. So yeah, anyway, Bruce Banner shows up and there's nobody.
So it's just Capey. Cape doesn't have a name, so I'm
The
calling
cape
him.
does have a name,
What's his name?
but I don't
Cape.
remember the name.
Peter, what's the cape's name?
It's the cape of something.
Oh, it's the cloak of levitation.
Thank you, Cloak of Levitation.
So
It's got a name.
it's just Capey.
So no, it's Clokey.
Clokey. It would be Clokey.
Jeez, God,
My bad. So Clokey.
That would be Clokey.
he's pretty mischief.
So Bruce like runs outside and he's like, "Oh God, I've missed it! Like Thanos has already caught him and snapped everybody." And then like he sees this like fog. Oh no, like the two alien dudes like drop down, right? And he's like, "Oh shit, no, it's starting."
Thanos' henchmen, those, just like it would, but except Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Wong aren't there. It's just Bruce, and he still can't turn into the Hulk. He's like, "Great guy, I need your help," and he's like, "No." The same scene. It's great, but except nobody else is there. Bruce Banner is just literally in the middle of
Talking
an
to
empty
himself.
street, and Squidward and Kronk, whatever the fuck the guy's name is. I don't know. Squidward. I still love him. He's still Squidward. He'll always be Squidward.
Then this like fog comes and he sees like the shield and like the Bam Bam, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are here. You made it. Yeah, we gotta stop Thanos." And he's like, "Okay, guys, I think it's overkill," because like shit's arms are flying and like blood is. It's like a mess. He's like, "Guys, get this overkill, okay?"
Wait,
I
they're killing them?
think
or?
we got it.
They're literally ripping these two dudes that wiped the floor with them earlier.
Yeah.
Literally ripping them apart, and like arms are flying off, and then he's like looking down, like literally, Iron Man is like, he's bent over a corpse, and he goes, "This seems like a little bit of overkill here, guys." And then the fog clears, and
They're zombies.
there's zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah. So the zombies. So then they try to start fucking up Bruce Banner. And then the other two henchmen of Thanos both come back because they're not zombified, and so they're using all their powers against Bruce. And Hulk's still going, "No, fuck you, buddy." And then all of a sudden, a swarm of bugs, a swarm of like, it almost looks like flies come in, and they start eating all the dudes, and then like they start getting lasered in the face because it's the Wasp, not Ant-Man, just the Wasp.
Huh.
Hope Van Dyne, if I may.
So, and then you find out that the way the infection started was because it was basically like, what if when Hank Pym went to the quantum realm to find his wife,
Janet
she had
Van Dyne. She
quantum
basically
infection.
quantum madness.
Yeah.
It deteriorated her brain, turned her into basically a zombie.
Huh.
But it still has traditional like Romero zombie rules, like bit by saliva, destroy the head, remove the head or destroy the brain. It works, everything like that. It's still same zombie rules.
Well, I can see that because madness and all of this
Yeah.
stuff would be
Yeah.
brain.
So-
she
brain fever.
attacked him, and they ended
Hank
up
Pym.
coming back. And Hope is like, "Oh my God, you guys made it, mom!" And she like tries to rub the like condensation off the thing, and she can't really see. So she opens the hatch, and they jump out and they murder the fuck out of Scott.
Ant-Man's super dead.
Yeah.
Super bad.
Eat him like big time.
Yeah. So
Wait, Peter, we
The
haven't gotten
only-
to that part yet.
the only people that you find out are not infected is you've got so Bruce Banner, Hope Van Dyne,
Dine, not dime.
fucking
Clokey,
Clokey,
nice. Bucky,
Bucky,
Sharon Carter, and then
the lady from the Dora Marashi.
Dora Milaje. Oh my
Dora
god.
Mirage.
Oh, what's her name? It's her.
He's alive and Peter.
What?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
What's her name? It's from the Dora Milaje. It's Ook. Starts with a U. I'm gonna be an asshole. I can't remember it. I can never remember how to pronounce it either. But Peter, and then Scott Lang's weird Russian friend. I can't remember his name either. But like,
Yeah. It's just the criminal friend of his, yeah.
Yeah.
it's his weird Russian friend. Sadly not Luis.
No, that would have been better.
That would have been amazing.
I would have gotten his recap of how the zombie virus
Yes.
spread.
Oh, damn it! That would have been great.
Did I miss
regret-
anybody?
Oh, and Happy.
Oh, and Happy.
Happy
I
Hogan.
said Happy, but I'm not sure if I caught it.
The mic did not catch it.
I only heard Spider-Man.
Peter.
Peter.
Peter said Peter. Yes, Peter Parker's there.
Peter does.
Not
wear
voiced by Tom Holland.
He wears a lot of red too. So.
But yeah, so then they're like so basically the way they stay safe is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's like super webbed up like this whole network, and they have like basically a floating building in the middle of Manhattan that's just hanging out up there. And he shows, it's great. He made a whole how to survive the zombie apocalypse training video that he's trying to show Bruce.
So did you watch Zombieland?
Yes.
So you know
It's basically that.
Cardio.
yeah.
Rule 1, cardio. No, but it's not. But it's like how the rules to survive the zombie apocalypse, and it's just them being as normal people. But he's like he makes what is the shirt he makes Happy wear? Oh, it's something. Oh, it was really cruel. Honestly, it was quite funny.
But so they're in there and they're trying to, Bruce is like, well, there's got to be a way to cure this, like, and they're like, well, we don't have any way to technology, and then there's like, oh, a beacon, and it's basically like sending out, hey, I have a cure. These are the coordinates, and they're like, oh, well, hey, that's where we need to go, and it's at Fort something or another.
His shirt says, "I'm not single. I'm saving myself for Thor."
I never even noticed.
You didn't notice that? It's great. Oh no, all of Peter's he's got like a likes and dislikes or skills thing under everybody too, and his is like driving, getting coffee, boxing.
What's the fort they have to go to, Peter?
That's the one from Captain America, the original one. It's the one. It's the one that gets. It's the one that gets blown. It's the one in New Jersey. It's Fort.
Yeah, but Happy is not happy because he's like, oh, you should go to Jersey. Bleh. So.
Not saying anybody in Jersey is blah. Promise.
I'm from New Jersey.
It's Camp Lehigh.
Thank you. Oh, I blinked and I have ring light in my eye. Sorry. So they're like, damn it, we have to get to New Jersey. And apparently the only way they could get there was to go by train. And I'm kind of like, I feel like there'd be... She shrinks the van down, so they drive up to Grand Central Station, and then it's like, zombie face. And it's about to eat them, and she makes the van real big and explodes zombie dude's head. I'm like, why wouldn't you just drive all the way? Like, I feel like that would have maybe been... But anyway, so...
Hordes? Making sure that there isn't a big horde following you?
Yeah, but there's
What
also...
if they were this big?
Well, also, it would
That's
take
why.
forever.
But yeah, why would they?
And if you're tiny, that's... Instead of being 100 miles... Well, 30 miles or whatever, it's 3,000 miles because
Yeah.
you're the size
So
of an ant.
they go into to Grand Central Station, and the
Dormalizer.
I can't even say it. But she's like, all right, you three go do this. The rest of us will do the perimeter. And Peter's like, no, haven't you ever seen? No, we need to stick together. Like, never split up. Like, that's a bad idea. But the lady's like, no, it's fine. Like, I can handle some zombies. It'll be all right. So Russian dude, Banner, and Peter go down to try and start the train. Or no, and Hope. And then the rest of them are kind of guarding the perimeter. And then, like, shit,
Goes wrong.
goes
Yeah.
wrong. Zombie Hawkeye shows up, shoots Sharon in the...
Okoye. That's her name.
Thank you.
Figured it out.
Proud of you.
Kills Happy.
Yeah, it's really sad. Happy's also got like one of Iron Man's tiny gloves, like
And he's
just a
going
glove.
blam, blam, blam.
He literally says "blam" every time he shoots
And
it.
Charles Sugar's saying, and even when he goes to, like, turn zombie, he's still going blah, blah, blah. It's really funny.
So Sharon gets shot by Zombie Hawkeye in the shoulder.
Turns her
Yeah.
into a zombie?
No, she gets pinned to the wall from his arrow.
nice.
So Happy's coming to kill her, and like literally like thinking that she goes, "I'm sorry, Happy." And takes his hand, turns around, and blows his own head off with his own hand.
Wow.
Then takes his gun, takes the Iron Man hand off, puts it on her, rips it out of the wall, and she starts fucking some people out.
Yeah, and then
Then Bucky comes
Peter's trying to
Slingshot the train.
slingshot the train because they just need to get it going. And there's like...
Apparently, it's got a manual transmission, and they just need to get it. They just need to get it rolling. So
And then
they
it's
can
like
jumpstart
there's like
going.
a horde of zombies
know.
behind him.
Yeah, and he almost gets bit,
Yeah.
but spider sense. So,
Yeah.
So
doesn't get bit.
Happy dies in the train station, and doesn't Russian guy die in the train station?
No, Russian guy definitely does not die in the train station. Russian guy definitely does not.
Oh no, you.
He has an
yeah.
amazing death later.
You're right. Sorry.
He does die, but he has an amazing death later.
Sorry.
No, but so they get the train going. They get on the train. They're heading to Jersey, right?
And they're still not sticking together.
Yeah, they're still kind of spread out throughout the train for some dumbass fucking reason. And then you hear thunk. Somebody's on top of the train.
Right.
Guess who's on top of the train?
Oh,
Cap.
really?
Captain America. So he kills Sharon.
Like murders the fuck out of her.
Cuts her face off. Bites her face off. So Bucky.
Because they all hear the scream.
Yeah.
So Bucky's the first one in.
And he goes, oh shit, wish you hadn't done that, Cap. Now we gotta shoot you.
So
So he tries to shoot him, but he's got a shield, so.
Cap throws the shield, he catches it, and the way he...
Just like he did in the Winter Soldier, he catches it, but instead of like just taking it and dropping it, he spins it right back around, throws it back at him, and cuts Cap in half with his own fucking shield.
Nice.
He's a zombie Cap, so he just falls off of the
And then they
train.
have to kill Sharon.
Yeah.
And then during all of this, Hope got nicked.
Hope actually gets like bit by Sharon, but she's tiny, so she flies right into Sharon's mouth, and then zoom, gets big and explodes her. So she's got Sharon all over her, and she even says, "Oh my god, I got Sharon all over."
Oh, but she had a cut, and it got in her.
She had a cut on her arm, and so goop got on her. So she has a slowly increasing infection. So it's basically every zombie movie ever. It's got all the tropes in there. You know, you gotta kill your best friend. Oh. Nope, we know she's got an infection, but it's going slowly, so maybe it'll be okay.
And then, of course, the train like runs out of steam or gas or whatever. So the only way they can get there is to go through this like redonk horde of zombies. And Hope's like, well, I'm fucked anyway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get real big and I'm just gonna walk you guys over there. And they're like, no, you can't. She's like, guys, I'm fucked anyway.
So she just kicks her way through the horde and carries them all in her hands.
Because at that point, it doesn't matter if she gets bit. She's already fucked.
Yeah, so she drops him over the thing, falls over backwards, dead.
And then they're
But
like,
still giant.
wait, why aren't any of the zombies trying to scale the fence? And Peter's like, they don't even need to scale the fence. There's this like big fucking hole. They could just like walk through
But they're all
it.
just standing right there.
My question is, she just died. Super
Just
gigantic.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
You're already right there.
Remember that.
I was already thinking that too.
pretty stupid,
When I
but-
saw it, already was thinking that too.
You're an
But
Yeah, put
You're
a pin,
right there.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to it.
wait for it.
So,
Wait for it.
So they go into the
Into the base.
base.
Guess who they find?
Vision.
Wait, so because he's immune, he's a zombie, or not
And-
a zombie. He's an android. He doesn't
Yeah.
put off human
Yeah.
pheromones, so zombies don't want to bite him.
And they're like, why aren't the zombies like? And he's like, oh, well, I found out that the Mind Stone, they don't like the frequency that it puts out, so they just don't.
Hang around.
So that's the cure he found, is that the Mind Stone, the frequency of the Mind Stone, well, at least stops him. So he's been using it to try and cure people.
And he did cure a head.
He apparently found Scott Lang's head and cured just his head, and now Scott Lang is a head in a jar, just
Like Futurama.
Like Futurama, and all he does is sit there making dad jokes, and it's he goes, "Sorry, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Damn it, I'm doing it again."
So then Bruce is like, oh my god, like, we could use this. We just have to, like,
He's like, if I uplink it to this satellite and we boost this signal like this, we can send this signal out to the whole world. And Vision's like,
there's not enough technology here to do this.
Yeah, human technology is not advanced enough to do this. And Okoye goes, you know where it is advanced enough to do this? Wakanda.
And because of our shield, the infection never
Got there.
got there.
So they're like, let's go to Wakanda. All right, let's go find Bucky goes, all right, I'm going to go find us transport.
And Vision's like, you're not going to find what you're looking for.
Like, super ominously.
And I'm like,
super. He's like,
what the fuck did you do?
he's like, you're not going to find what you're looking for, Bucky.
And
Super creepy.
all he had to do was just tell him where the jet was. But he didn't do that. He had to be an asshole. So, Bucky's goes to this one room. He's like, where are all these fucking pants on the floor? What the fuck's going on?
There's clothes
Why
all over
there's
the floor. It's
clothes?
weird, yeah.
And then, zombie shoots. It's fucking Wanda. In like a containment. She's zombied up. Fucking zombied. And then you hear, hello, who's there? It's,
T'Challa?
T'Challa.
Black Panther's sitting there, but he's missing
missing a leg.
He sands one right leg from the knee down because apparently Vision has been slowly feeding him to Wanda in order to keep her placated enough that she'll stay in her containment because she has reality warping powers, but she's also a zombie that wants to murder and eat everything.
Yeah, so T'Challa's like, yo, bro, we gotta go. So Bucky's like, I got you, bro. So they're like running, and then they go back in.
Limping.
Limping.
It's a really bad three-legged race.
And they come in, and he's like, Vision, what the fuck? And Vision's like, I really wish you just like had not done that, And
Mostly he's like, I really wish you hadn't got my signal and come here because I've totally been luring and trapping people into hearing that there's a cure here and then coming here, and then I've been feeding them to Wanda.
So Wanda breaks out.
And he's like, also, she hasn't eaten in weeks. So y'all are all fucked.
Yeah.
There was some great foreshadowing, though we missed it. It was a sad part. There was a great
sorry.
foreshadowing. The Russian guy, well, I can't remember his name, but Scott Lang's Russian friend. He goes,
Baba
I'm
Yaga.
getting real Baba Yaga vibes, and they're all like, "Who's Baba Yaga?" He's like, she's the crazy witch lady that hides in graveyards. Oh, she will murder us all.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then Wanda rips the doors off the wall because she's Wanda, and he goes, "Oh no, Baba Yaga!" And she picks him up and like forces him to her and eats the fuck out of him. Yeah. So he gets murdered by Baba Yaga.
So they gotta run, and then Vision's
Run fast.
And then this is when Vision's like, oh yeah, there's a Quinjet over there in that hangar.
And he's like, I feel really bad actually. You guys are sort of my friends, but I can't kill her. I love her. I'm like, you're an android, dude. You don't even know what love is. And he goes, but I think I do. Pretty sure I do.
So then he's
I
like,
love her, even zombified. But like he couldn't cure her because her own powers were too powerful. And we're resisting. She was resisting the power of the Mind Stone because her powers also come from the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he like cuts a hole and like buries, and he's like, "Hey, look, we don't have a lot of time. You're gonna have to hurry."
Like 30 seconds.
And he rips the stone out of his own fucking head, throws it to Banner, and they're like booking it for the plane. And then
Wanda pops out of the ground and notices that, oh fuck, y'all just killed my boyfriend because I still love him even though I'm a zombie.
So then Bucky sacrifices himself, basically.
Bucky's like, run, I'll take her out. And then they're like, you're not going to be able to. And he's like, yeah, but I'll buy you a little bit of time. Yeah. So then they have trouble getting the Quinjet started because it's a zombie movie. So the vehicles never work properly. So they're trying to get it started. And Bruce is like, all right, I'm going to try it. Because he almost gets bit once and he turns green like just in that spot. And he's like, all right, good move, green guy. Good move, green guy. Thanks, man. You're the best.
So he's like, well, maybe if I run into the horde of zombies, Hulk will come out and I'll be all right.
And he goes, so I'm going to try and buy you some time. They're like, no. And Peter's like really emotional. And he's like, I've already lost too many friends. I've lost everybody. Because they were already talking about like, how do you stay so upbeat all the time? And he goes, because you got to.
Clokey wrapped himself around Scott Lang, so he's like a thing on so he can move around and stuff.
Jesus.
Oh, it's great. But
so they take off, and
Bruce and Hulk goes on a whole group of zombies, and then fights his way to Wanda.
The only three people left is Scott Lang's head, T'Challa, and Peter. And they finally take off, and then let's take that pin out.
So Hope's giant zombie body stands up and grabs the Quinjet, and Scott's obviously bothered. He's like, "No, it's Hope. I loved her. Oh no, she saved me once. Now she saved me again, and now she's going to murder me. Oh shit!" And so they just turn the afterburners on and melt her face off, and then they get away. But then I really want to know. I couldn't tell in the episode, and I just feel like it had to have been a cameo of some point. And I'm sure it was, but she throws one of the zombies at him and it bounces off the wing, kind of thing like that. I know it had to be somebody that like is in the comics. The only reason that they would animate that, I feel like it had to be somebody. I'm gonna need to go back and watch it and figure out who it was because I'm sure it was somebody.
Peter?
I'm looking at it now. Hold on.
He's got internet. Thank you, Peter.
Or anybody in the comment section can also put down in the
Yeah,
comments
let us
who it was.
Let us know.
I really hope it was somebody because I'm sure it was because that would just make so much sense. So they fly to Wakanda.
Uh-huh.
They're like, "Oh yeah, we got this thing."
It isn't actually fully animated. It's just a random zombie body.
Damn, I was really hoping it was somebody real.
Completely shadowed out.
Damn. So they're flying to Wakanda. They do everything like that, and then they did the same thing that they've done with every What If episode, and tease the next like part of this story, but not actually give you any fucking conclusion.
Right.
And they're like, oh wait, no, Wakanda's been destroyed already because that's where Thanos landed, but he's also zombie Thanos. So how are they gonna get out of this one, guys? And you're like, what the fuck, you guys? And then that's where it ends. You're like, I got no resolution.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Fuck you guys.
I'm honestly starting to get real irritated with the show because it does it every episode. It,
Kind of
you-
just like keeps a question in your mind. Kind
Yeah.
of.
It keeps going. It keeps making you think. Well, what if?
the only one that really had any resolution was the Doctor Strange episode because like the whole thing was
The end.
the
It was
world
just
was
him
no
by
more,
himself.
so you can't go anywhere else with that. But like, so the next episode is Killmonger rescues Tony Stark when his Humvee is attacked in Afghanistan and manipulates his influence for his designs of conquering Wakanda.
Yeah. So instead of getting blown up and then turning into Iron Man because he's got metal in his heart and has to put an arc reactor in there, Killmonger,
Shows up.
the guy from
Black Panther.
Black Panther. I'm just making sure.
No, I mean we gotta.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Making sure everybody knows.
Uh-huh.
But Killmonger, saves him instead and like fucks up the Ten Ring guys that are trying to murder him. They go back and then instead of the press conference where he's like, I just want a cheeseburger and I am Iron Man and shit like that.
He's his
And it's
dick's
like-
normal dick self.
Yeah, he's just kind of Tony does not get any growth at all. So he's just like, nope, we need to build bigger, better, more awesome weapons. What did you say, Peter?
He still does get a degree of it, just not the same direction.
True, yeah. He doesn't go, we're not making any more weapons. He goes, we're making
Yeah.
bigger, better weapons.
Because
Exactly.
you have to let him talk.
Sorry, Peter.
You're good. It's fine. It was basically what you said.
Sorry, Peter.
You should
It's
be.
like, I'm on a phone, so I already kind of figured this wouldn't be an optimal one for me to talk a lot. So if y'all just want me to keep fact checking, that's fine.
Wait, you're on a phone?
Oh shit! Wait, Peter's not here.
How does work?
I really thought he was.
I really did.
Could have sworn I saw him here.
Could have sworn I saw him. God. Man.
But so Killmonger.
So then Killmonger exposes.
Obadiah Stane. He's like, oh no, they're like, because actually, one of the actually, I guess if I remember correctly, in Iron Man, it was the reporter that Tony slept with that Pepper kicks out of the house like right at the beginning of the movie. It's the same reporter asked him like, well, if you're such a cool, awesome, badass Navy SEAL, why were you 400 clicks away from where your unit was actually stationed that day? He goes, it almost seems like you had prior knowledge of this attack. Does
And
that mean you helped plan it? He goes, well, yeah, no, I totally had prior knowledge of the attack. And everybody's like, he goes, yeah, I was in a deep undercover operations in the Ten Rings organization. And Obadiah Stane's like, I think we can stop this here. Yeah, no, I think we're good here.
And then
Yep,
just
nope,
totally
we're
calls
cool.
him out and blasts all the proof on the big screen.
Yeah, he's like, the guy that ordered that hit, that guy over here. Here's the proof. Brought the receipts. Here you go. Just dropped it all online. If y'all want to fact check that, cool. And Obadiah Stane's like, why don't we let's talk this out, Tony? No, we're good. We're good. Like the security starts coming up, and Happy Hogan just punches him right in the jaw and knocks him right out. It's fucking great. That's because that's one.
So then
that's Happy's one superpower is he can just knock you right in the jaw.
So then Killmonger and Tony Stark become besties, and
He makes him the new head of security, which was supposed to be Happy's job.
right. But now, everyone's got an angle, and they can't figure out what his is. And then they're sitting there kind of talking, and
Rhodey and Pepper are talking because she asked Rhodey to use his military contacts.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, check this guy out for me. Because Pepper's like, everybody's got an angle. It's my job to make sure that people aren't using Tony for the wrong reasons, and I can always figure out everybody's angle. But I don't know this guy's angle. But everybody's got an angle. But the problem is, I'm not smelling his angle. I don't know what he wants.
Right.
And Rhodey's like, his record's exemplary. He's done amazing things. The only black mark against him is most of his missions are high-profile wet work. And she goes, tell me that's plumbing? And he goes, no, assassinations. You know what it is. She goes, yeah, I knew that's what that meant. Was hoping that's not what that meant.
so
but,
Tony
yeah.
takes him to his garage, his workroom.
Where he made the fancy Iron Man armor.
And Killmonger mentions that, he had been at MIT and, he had been working on this basically a Gundam suit.
He wanted to make an autonomous drone so that people didn't actually have to die and fight in battle
Some like
anymore.
Age of Ultron shit. And Tony's like, oh, well, whatever happened with that? And he's like, oh, I couldn't get the interface to work. And Tony was like, it's because you didn't have me. So then they start working on all this like.
They montage that shit.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
And
then
it literally, it's funny. He's like, all right, Jarvis, pull up the MIT doctoral thesis database project. What was it?
Liberator.
Liberator, yeah. He goes, I like you, kid. You got an eye for marketing. All right. You got a real ear for marketing. You know
And then
how to
he
name a project.
And then he even said, like, because Killmonger's like, well, what if it doesn't work? And he was like, well, then we're just going to build a really expensive Gundam model.
We'll just build the world's most expensive Gundam model. Because he's like, come on, man. He goes, I was really into anime. And you're like, no shit. It's like that spikes coming out of its back. It's a Gundam. It looks just like a Gundam.
Except it's unmanned.
Yeah,
You get
it's,
the little horns that the Gundams have.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So start building prototypes and start stuff like that. It's a great line that one of them falls over and Tony goes, it's not a failure unless it explodes, and his head blows off, and he's like, okay, that changes things.
And then he makes a comment about, oh man,
He goes-
about ARC technology.
He's like, oh yeah, we just can't we can't get enough power. He goes, ooh, you know what you know what I could do? What if I miniaturized an arc reactor? No, that doesn't make any sense.
And
That would never work.
And then Killmonger's like, oh, well, you just need vibranium. And Tony's like, where the fuck are we needing vibranium?
He's like, well, no, my dad used a lot of that making a frisbee. Fucking asshole.
And Killmonger's like, oh, I have this ring, so we can at least like try it and see what happens. And then they're like talking it over with Pepper, and Pepper's like, no, I think this is a bad idea. You can't go get vibranium off the black market. And
Because they basically end up the beginning of Age of Ultron there, where they're trying to stop whoever was buying money from Claw, Ulysses Claw. Also, Andy Serkis did come back into the voice. It's great. So they go and they're like, oh no, we'll send Rhodey because he's a legit U.S. Air Force officer. He's legit. If he goes and he goes with our money, then we can be on the up and up. It's not really black market if he sells it to a U.S. military officer, right? Right?
sure.
Yeah, still the black market, Tony.
There's some gray areas there, though. I'm going to give Tony's that. There's some gray area there.
But yeah, so they're on the ship and they're like about to make the deal, and he shows them the product, and then dun dun dun.
T'Challa shows up.
T'Challa showed up. Black Panther.
Just like he did in the original one. He fucks everybody up.
Yeah.
But
Killmonger.
Killmonger was also there with some weird sonic taser thingy.
That Tony had developed.
So he shoots it at both Rhodey and T'Challa, uses it on Black Panther and kills the shit out of him. And then Rhodey goes, "Why would you do this, man? You gotta be a part of the system to take it down. I know the system's not great; it's kind of broken, but you gotta be a part of the system to take it down." And he goes, "Nope, fuck you. You can burn it down." And he rips the American flag patch off of Rhodey's. He's wearing ACUs, which is weird because he's in the Air Force, but but he takes the Velcro American flag off the side, and then kills him, and then puts the sonic taser in his hand so he can pin everything on Rhodey. That Rhodey killed Black Panther.
And then it turns out that Claw and Killmonger were working together.
The whole time. Oh yeah.
So then Killmonger goes back, and they put Rhodey to rest, and
T'Challa rest too.
and then Killmonger goes to like Tony Stark's, and Tony's like,
Yeah.
I know what you did.
He's like, oh man, can you believe that happened? And he goes, yeah, made sure my name was all over that paper trail too, asshole. You really kind of could have not implicated me in that if you really wanted to do this. And he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, yeah, so I've got a super powerful AI that basically monitors everything on the planet. And Jarvis was obviously there in the earpiece that I gave you to talk to Rhodey while you were there coordinating the mission. So it's all on video. I've got it in 3D. I've got your body temperatures the whole time, kind of shit like that. And he's like, yeah, I kind of wish you hadn't recorded that, because now I'm going to have to murder you, Tony Stark. And Tony Stark's like, no. He's like, I guess you got to call the cops. And he goes, I don't want the authorities. I want justice. Puts his Malibu house into lockdown mode and locks Killmonger in there with him. And he goes, oh, Tony Stark's going to fight? Oh, you never lifted a hand for anything. He goes, Yeah, I did lift it for one thing. Melted down that ring, and you know what? You're right. Vibranium does make a great power source, and his fucking Gundam walks out of the room, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
So then they start fighting, and Tony's like,
the
"Yeah."
Gundam and Killmonger. Tony's just watching there, quipping and drinking. I believe he is drinking some bourbon still.
and he's like, "Yeah." Go ahead.
He's still drinking the whole time. I was just confirming.
True. Just making sure. They leaned farther into the comic book version of Tony Stark as an alcoholic.
And then he's
barely
like,
functional.
"Hey, you programmed this, so guess what? You're fighting you."
He knows all your moves, and he goes, "Guess I'm gonna have to freestyle."
So
That seemed a little.
He destroys the Gundam, and then he kills Tony. Sad times.
And then blames it on the Dora Milaje because he stabbed him with the Dora Milaje spear. So he blames it on
basically
Wakanda and basically starts a war between
Wakanda.
the United States and Wakanda. So General Ross, who's always a dickhead,
Decides he's going to put the Gundams into production.
they use the Patriot Act to take over Stark Industries, and they're like, "Yep, you're going to make us all our weapons for us now. Have fun."
So then Killmonger hooks up with Claw, and
Gets all the vibranium he needs.
Claw takes him to where the shield is, and he's like, Killmonger starts walking to it, and Claw's like, "Bro, we gotta go. We gotta go. Like, you don't want to mess with the Dora Milaje. Like, we gotta go." And Killmonger's like, "Yeah, man." Fucking kills Claw.
He's like, you never know when they're gonna surprise you. When a Wakandan's just gonna surprise you, and he goes, "Yeah, you don't," and shoots him in the fucking head.
And then carries his dead body into Wakanda.
just like he does in Black Panther, and he goes, "Hey, I brought you the guy that
Killed
is responsible for T'Challa's death," kind of thing like that, and for stealing all your vibranium. Want to show you that I want to work with the Wakandans. I'm a Wakandan. He's got his lip tattoo thing. It doesn't say dude or sweet. That's all I can think of every time I see those in Black Panther. Is I'm like, dude, what's mine say? Sweet. What's mine say?
So then, like, Shuri doesn't trust him. She's like, "Mm-mm.
Yeah, Shuri's not a
Something
fan.
is up with this." But he's like, "Look, there's this army of drones that's like coming, and this is what's up. And I am a servant of Wakanda, and this is my father."
And like the king's still alive at this point. He didn't die. T'Challa died. So the king's still alive because they didn't have that whole issue with. I guess that's the beginning of what Ultron. Yeah, Age of Ultron. There.
So he basically sets it up to make it look like he's coming to help them out.
Yeah,
and
he warns them about the drones that are coming.
And he basically tells them that if they let the drones in the city, then
close the shield behind it.
It'll turn off the uplink.
It'll turn off the satellite uplink. That's because they're all being run by Jarvis. Mm-hmm. So they're like, "Oh yeah, as soon as we get in the shield, you got a super awesome shield. As soon as they get inside the shield, the uplink will go down. You'll just be able to cut them down, easy peasy, lemon squeezy." They're like, "I don't know if I believe you," and they're like, "Okay, no, I believe you. Let's try it."
Yeah, so they do, and it
works.
But Killmonger,
bloop bloop, he's got a
switch
remote start.
So he starts them puppies back up. And then to show that he's one of them, he goes into battle with them. They destroy all the drones. And then, the king is like, "Oh, you've proven yourself. You're going to be the next Black Panther." So he does the whole Black Panther ceremony. And then it ends with Shuri in Pepper's office being like, "Hey, got some shit for you." And so now they're going to work together to I guess expose Killmonger.
Oh. Yeah, so he does he goes to the whole spirit realm thing, and T'Challa sits there and goes, "Was it worth it?" He goes, "Yeah, totally. 100%. Do it again. Fuck you, buddy. Glad I killed your ass." Like, "Okay, cousin." Not cool.
He doesn't lack any remorse in that scene.
There was no remorse. Zero. He's like,
Zero.
I hope it was worth it. Yeah. And yeah, it totally was. Exactly where I want to be right now. Plan is going
Perfectly.
Thanks, bro.
That's all he wanted to do was just become Black Panther.
Well, I'm sure he wants to be king, but this is how he's going to do it.
That's how he's gonna. That's the next step.
Yeah.
He's got one more dude to murder, and he becomes king.
Well, I don't think he'll probably just wait till he dies. He's just trying to usurp, right? Usurp the throne?
Usurp?
Usurp.
Usurp.
Yeah, there we go.
Ursa Minor.
Ursa Minor.
Words.
So then episode 7 is what if Thor was an only child?
What if
Watch the episode.
what's that?
This is the only episode of the show Maddie watched.
Oh, really?
I want Maddie's hot take.
She's in the room. She can come over and give her opinion.
Maddie, hot take right now.
Maddie, come over and give
You're
your
on.
opinion.
You're on the spot.
You're on the 8-Bit Cat Show, Maddie. Give us your hot take on what if episode 7? What if Thor was an only child?
No, my hot take was Jeff Goldblum was in it, and that was my favorite part.
Jesus.
Jeff Goldblum was in it, and that was her favorite.
That part was great. That part was fantastic.
So
They're on
Basically-
Scooty Scoots at the end. It's great.
that was my favorite part. So it's
Basically,
because Loki and Thor didn't have that.
so Odin, instead of kidnapping or taking Loki and raising him his own son,
Gives him back
saves him
to
and gives
the
him
ice
back to the
giants.
king and the ice giant king, and so he gets raised as an ice prince. So Thor grows up as himself and doesn't have his trickster asshole brother to kind of teach him how a little humility.
So basically, he's like a frat boy.
Like total, like he's
So Odin's gonna go into his Odin sleep, and once he's asleep, Frigga is like, "Cool, I'm gonna go
hang out with my sisters.
Hang out with
I
my
haven't seen them in like
sisters.
2,000 years.
see y'all
Cool.
later."
Thor, you're in charge. This is your first chance to
No,
be king.
he said Heimdall is watching. You go study, and Thor went, "Uh-huh." And so he gathers his buddies, and they're like, "We're gonna go to some backwater planet that Heimdall doesn't pay attention to." So they go to Earth,
Midgard,
and they throw a huge party, and they basically like.
the world's most ultimate kegger.
And they invite not even the world, like the universe. Like they invite everyone. Like
Their scrolls are there. Howard the Duck is there.
Nebula's there.
Like
Frodo is there just being chill.
Is that Odin?
No, Odin's asleep. He's in his Odin sleep.
Well,
Yeah.
What did you say, Peter?
Surtur, the fire giant from Ragnarok.
Oh,
Like,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
oh yeah, the one that's actually supposed to bring about Ragnarok.
Yeah.
At one point, he is hitting on the Statue of Liberty.
And he melts her arm off.
Oh no.
Loki shows up in ice giant form, and they, him and Thor, they do love to. They still apparently love to party and hang out together. They're brothers from another mother. Mm-hmm.
But
until,
yeah, Jeff,
until shit hits the fan, he's like, "Fuck
Jeff
you."
Goldblum shows up as like the Grand Master, and
Yeah.
he's like DJing the party.
Release the phone.
So he does meet with Jane Foster because Jane like had been just like she was at the beginning of Thor, like watching the thing and was like, "Oh, there's gonna be this big event thing or whatever," and then she's like, "Oh, they've landed. I'm gonna make first contact with an alien." And of course, they landed in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Instead of landing in the New Mexican desert, he lands in Vegas instead. So they show up, and he's already in the middle of a conversation. She goes, "I got it ready to make first contact." And Darcy, who is still done by Kat Dennings, it's great too, and her lines are still great and funny. She's sitting there and she goes, "Yeah, like maybe like 4,000th contact. Like literally everybody on the strip has already said hi to this guy. What the fuck are you talking about?" So they proceed.
and she had called S.H.I.E.L.D. to be like, "There's going to be an alien invasion. There's going to be an alien invasion."
And nobody's listening. Like, she calls the parks department. She goes, "I know you're the parks department, but isn't there something you can do?" And they're like, "Fuck you," and keep hanging up on her.
So they end up partying with them all night, and she wakes up like in this hotel room.
She fucked Thor.
and
She's pretty Thor that next morning.
and like the phones are going
Very
off,
Thor.
and she's like, "Phone, what's going on?"
So yeah, like her cell phone goes off and says unknown numbers. She like slaps it on the ground. Then the hotel room phone starts going off. And then her phone starts
and
going
then
off
there's,
again.
there's the bang at the
Knocking
door.
on the door, and then she opens it up, and Maria Hill's there. And they're like, "Miss Foster, you called about an alien invasion."
She's like,
And
"No, everything's fine."
She's got no pants on. She's like just wearing a t-shirt, kind of shit like that, like barely sticking her head out the window. Like Darcy's in the corner, going like with two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents on their side, going, "I don't know what to tell you." Darcy also got drunk enough, and I believe they've been partying for more than one night. It seemed like, but it was
She
at least
married
one-
Howard the Duck.
She married Howard the Duck in
like a Vegas.
they got married by
Elvis.
Elvis impersonator priest at a Vegas church. So she's now Darcy the Duck. This is the Duck.
So they end up on one of the Helicarrier.
One of the Shield helicarriers is literally just completely visible over the center of downtown Vegas.
And no one cares because
And then no one's even paying attention because there's like 8,000 other alien spaceships hanging around there because they've all dropped off people for the party.
Yeah, and I mean, shit's like happening all over the world. Like
The party atmosphere is spreading.
Yeah. So they're like, well, what are we gonna do? And Maria Hill, because apparently she's only acting director right now because Nick Fury went to try and confront Thor and
Korg, the rock monster from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So it runs and does a Korga ball into the giant the Caesar's Palace fountain. And while he's running past, slaps Nick Fury so hard he like flies over one of the things. He's like, "Is he okay?" He's like, "He's still unconscious." So she's acting, directing her shield.
So she activates the Captain Marvel beeper.
She gets the beeper out. Beep. And they're like, I do love that line though. Darcy's sitting there and she goes, and she's like, all right, it's done. And she goes, is it done? It's done now? Did I miss it? What's happening? What's going on? Is it done?
So like, and then Jane's like trying to call Thor and she's like, hey, what are you doing? Maybe you need to tone it down. Like, shit's going down. So Captain Marvel shows up and then she like squares off with Thor. And they get in some pretty good punches.
They literally punch each other around the world and end up back in Vegas. They kind of trade off back and forth. Like he punches her because they decided because he left Vegas and went to Paris because one of his buddies was really jonesing for some crepes. So they're in Paris. So she lands in like downtown Paris and like punches Thor, or Thor hits her with the hammer and she lands at Stonehenge, knocked her all the way to the UK. Pretty solid hit, right? So then he's just an asshole and he goes, she almost accidentally knocks down like one of the sticks, one of the giant rocks from Stonehenge. And she's like, oh no, put it back. And she puts it back. She goes, whew, okay, we're good. So Thor comes up and he goes, oh, is this, oh no, these your rocks? Oh. And then like dominoes
around. Yeah.
It's just like, you fucking
So she
ass.
punches
She
him
punches
to like
him-
the New Mexican desert.
she punches him. He lands in Utah. It's definitely in Monument Valley, like Utah. It's like, but she punches him from Stonehenge to Utah, and he lands and he goes, "Oh, I actually like felt that one." Okay, so they continue to have a fight, and then like he punches her. He punches
They
her
end
like
up back in Paris.
like he punches her like past Hawaii, and there's definitely a Stan Lee cameo that like Stan Lee's sitting on the beach under like, you can just see the mustache and sunglasses. It's like from behind. You're like, all right. So Stan.
So then they end up back there, and he puts his hammer on her, and he's like, "Party pooper! You're a party pooper! Stop it!"
He's like, I'm going to put you in a timeout. My mom always put me in timeout. Never worked for me. But maybe it'll teach you a lesson.
And then just like takes his hammer and walks away. And then they're like, well, what are we gonna do? And
So Captain Marvel meets back up with Maria Hill. She's like, what the heck happened? Fury said you had to punch like 10 nuclear bombs. And she's like, well, yeah, I do. But if I actually punched him with all of my power, I'd blow up the planet we're on. And I thought that was kind of not the point.
She said it would put like a crater and the lives lost wouldn't be worth it. And someone says, well, what about like...
Oh, yeah. Darcy goes, what about South Dakota? Or North Dakota? One of the Dakotas. Nobody would miss one of the Dakotas. They're like, well, that is a terrible idea. But actually...
Siberia.
They're like, oh, the Mojave Desert maybe could contain it. And she goes, or I could just take him to Siberia and just beat the shit out of him. And they're like, okay, yeah, then do that. That sounds like a great plan. Take him to Siberia and beat the shit out of him.
And Jane's trying to stop, and she's like, no, I think you guys are being ridiculous, and like I'm sure there's a way we can get this under control.
He's a really nice guy. He's got great dick. I mean, he's a really nice guy. Like, the whole point is, like, the whole time she's trying basically not to say, like, yeah, I'm just kind of in love with the dude. It was the best lay of my life. Can you not murder this dude right now? I'd like him to stick around. He's pretty cool.
So they escort them off the helicarrier and drop them back off at her van.
You're no longer needed.
And they're like, what are we going to do? And Darcy makes the comment about, like, calling his mom or something.
If we were in high school, we'd just call his mom. And she goes, oh, well, if there is a Thor and there's a Loki, that means there's
an
a
Odin,
Frigga
and
and an Odin and a Heimdall. And you know what Heimdall can do? He can see and hear everything. So she turns all of their equipment into a giant like broadcast relay.
Heimdall.
She just screams Heimdall, and like it goes reverberates everywhere, and she goes, I don't think it worked. And Garcia goes, let me give it a chance. She goes, the owner of the blue Prius. Just like
And
screaming
then
throughout Vegas.
Heimdall transports her, and
Like while she's doing that, yeah, she gets not tesseracted,
Bifrosted.
bifrosted.
And
there we go.
then meets up with his mom, and he's like, "Hey, so your son is is kind of out of control on Earth, and maybe you should come."
Can you stop that? So his mom uses dark magic to like show up where Thor is.
Well, first,
Oh, yeah.
Captain Marvel absconds Thor off to Siberia, and they're about to like fight, and then black magic, whatever, shows up, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
He goes, no,
He's like, "No, Mom, no, we're studying. It's a cultural experience."
we went to Midgard for a cultural exchange, and our study group is here. Yeah, we're
And
working
she's
hard.
like, "I'm on my way there.
I want to
I'm
see your
coming
entire syllabus
right
when I
now."
get there.
And then Captain Marvel's just like, "I don't even have to do anything.
Yeah,
This
so
is fucking hilarious.
no,
This is great."
yeah, so like Maria Hill's like on the helicarrier, and they got like nukes trained
to
on
go
him too,
just in case.
and it's like she's about to do it because she's like, just in case just in case the captain gets cold feet, and it's the dude that tried to beat up Captain America in the elevator. I can't remember the dude's name. The guy that ends up being Crossbones. I don't know. But it's that dude. Who's always been like the third in command guy. But
We never get to fire the nuke.
we never get to fire the nuke. Bullshit.
So then Thor.
What?
Brock Rumlow.
Thank you.
So then Thor like hurries back to everyone. He's like, guys, I need your help. Like, we need to stop partying. Like, we gotta clean this up. And everyone's like, you're stupid. And then the
Oh no, there's even right before he goes back to try and get everybody else's help, he turns to Captain Marvel and he's like, "What am I gonna do? You gotta help me. My mom's on her way right now." And Captain Marvel goes, "Well, I would say start in the
with
corners and work your way out."
No, work your way in. And he goes, "There are no corners. This is sphere."
Because it's the entire planet. So they're on the Sydney Harbor Bridge, and he flies back to the Sydney Harbor Bridge where everybody's like partying hard, and he's like, "We got to clean all this mess up right now." And Loki's like, "No, man, we're about to make the world's largest slingshot. They found this giant U thing in St. Louis. I don't know what it is. We're gonna make a slingshot."
And so like
they literally have the St. Louis arch upside down there trying to make it.
So Thor's like freaking out, and everyone's like, "You're being dumb, whatever, we're all leaving." And he's like, No, you have to help me clean up. And then so then Grandmaster and like a couple of his buddies are on like, like the scooters.
The rascals.
Yeah.
And he's like, and we're keeping the scooty scoots.
And then absconds away. But
And-
then Thor
but-
does the whole like
No, you don't understand. Like, my mom is coming, Frigga is coming. They're like, oh, shit.
no, but he doesn't even do that. He doesn't. He's like, "Oh, guys, my mom is going," and like nobody's listening. But he like literally goes, "Oh, Odin, give me strength." Like does the whole like I'm fucking Thor thing. Like flies up to the sky and lightning's everywhere. "Listen to me. You must help me clean. My mother is coming." And everybody's like, "Oh shit. Hey, let's start cleaning this place up. Oh shit. Oh god."
So when she shows up, they're like sitting in like a study group, and he's like pretending to like teach them whatever. And Captain Marvel even like came with like a little pad to be like, "Oh yeah, here's the stuff, and here's all the."
She comes on the iPad. She goes, I got you all that information you wanted, and I added some couple of playlists, a couple of podcasts, a couple of things for you to do. Got a great cultural exchange. All good to go.
And Frigga's just like,
Frigga's like, this is fucking bullshit. There's no way. But
And then-
I can't prove that it's not.
until someone like shows up to give Thor his hammer
No.
back.
Thor goes, he's like, all right,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
get out of
he
here.
does
He goes, oh yeah. And it shows up, and it's like all like it's bedazzled and like
Covered in Mardi Gras
like, covered in like
beads,
Mardi Gras
somebody's
beads
underwear.
and graffiti and shit like that. And he goes, "It's not what it looks like, Mom."
That's it.
And then he goes back for Jane, and he's like, "Oh, I'd like to see you again." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you should take me on a date." And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna take you on a date then." And they decide on a time. And then right before he's about to bush
Like,
off,
the Watcher even goes, and love is everything is good. Love is in the air. The earth is back to normal.
they lived happily
and they
ever
lived
after.
and they like both the Norse mythology and fairy tales. They lived happily ever after.
And
Wait,
then-
that doesn't. Wait, no. And he goes, wait, no, that doesn't seem right. and then all of a sudden,
Ultron shows up with all the Infinity Stones.
yeah, like Ultron, like, but well, it's Vision, but it's Ultron had actually gotten into the real Vision body like he was supposed to instead of Jarvis, and he's got like all the Infinity Stones. He's got his whole Ultron army there with him, and you're like, well, and then cut to black kind of thing like that. You're like, well, that's gonna fucking suck because y'all are all about to die.
Yeah.
And we probably won't find out what happens because
Until next season. Maybe next season. I would kind of hope that like they're doing these. That it seems like they're setting up the next part of the story. And then like next season, it'll do in the exact same order, but continue all these stories to the next part.
Yeah.
Would be really interesting. Or they're just never talking about it again, so it's in your head. You're like the what if?
But what if?
But what if?
It's really irritating me. I'm irritated.
A couple of them, I'm like, all right, you can't tease something as cool as that story and not give me the what if of that fucking story.
So to be clear, neither of y'all have watched the next episode, right?
Correct.
No.
I'm the only one who ahead.
I've not watched episode 8. No.
Oh,
Okay.
do we get a resolution for once?
Kinda.
Kinda. I'll take
You
it.
don't
Kinda.
get resolutions in this exact universe, but you do get answers about the Ultron.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'd like to hear that.
Yay.
Hi, it's the flannel guy again. I still don't have a real cat. Why aren't you supporting us on Patreon?
Do 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 do.
So that brings us to what you're watching, and
What are we watching?
something that I know Peter wants to talk about. He had mentioned it at the last recording, but we got the trailer for the Hawkeye show, which premieres November 24th.
I'm excited. It looks like Die Hard with bow and arrows.
I want Peter's hot take because I know how much he loves Hawkeye.
Well, we didn't get to see a whole hell of a lot of it. It looks it looks a little bit like they're trying to mix the first time Clint and Kate meet in the Young Avengers comics with the Matt Fraction run. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be nice to see these actors actually get to play their characters for once instead of being in the background doing nothing important.
That will be nice.
Did you watch the trailer?
I've watched it 7 times.
I mean, sorry, Tom, did you watch the trailer?
Tom didn't watch the trailer. Why are you even asking?
No.
Okay.
Tom
so,
didn't watch the fucking trailer. Of course he didn't.
for
watch
the other
fucking
two people
trailer.
that did watch, well, I didn't know because I want to know if either of you caught Rogers the Musical billboard.
I totally
Yes,
did.
I did. That was
I
actually
totally
great.
caught it.
He did not. But did you not see? Did you not see the actual excerpt from Rogers the Musical?
No?
Oh, there's a dance scene with Captain America out in the lead. It's definitely a Broadway musical
I miss
based
that?
on the Avengers. It
'Cause I just
seems
saw the
amazing.
Thing,
It's
and
one
I
of the
was
more
like,
obvious sequences.
It was a pretty obvious. Like it was a longer sequence in there. It's definitely in there. It was amazing. I would pay to just see Rogers the Musical instead of the Hawkeye show. I want to see the Avengers as a Broadway musical.
See if
I'm
I can
sorry?
find it for you real quick.
Yeah, I want to see the Avengers as a Broadway musical.
That'd be fun. Give it time, it'll happen. Everything happens.
All right, what's Peter sending us now?
I don't know. I don't have access to anything.
Oh, yeah. I guess he doesn't look like Kid Fisto. You're right. He's just an orange alien dude.
I said Plo Koon.
Well, either way, he's just orange alien dude. That's from a while ago.
Ow.
It's because you're also wearing a polo.
Yeah.
Peter, any other thoughts on the Hawkeye show?
Nothing overly interesting. Just I'm excited. I've been wanting this since they announced it like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We'll be
So
interested to
it's-
see. It will be interesting to see where. Oh my goodness, what's her name from Black Widow? That's not Black Widow. Shows up.
Oh, Yelena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Yes.
I miss
There's
that?
Thor. There's Loki.
okay.
I don't know who that is.
So apparently every month, the Amazon Prime people have been doing like the boys hype videos, but it's like a parody of like a
It's a
Fox News type thing.
it's
so
it's the VOT News Network, VNN.
and it's a Cameron something or another, but yeah, it's just like he's going through like all the news stories for the boys, and then like they're coming in with different like commercials, like the VOT streaming network and
VOT Plus.
VOT Plus. And it was just like a parody of like all these.
It's a parody of everything. It's really amazing. But it's the VOT 7 on. It's the VOT News VNN 7 on 7. So it's the top 7 news stories of the day, and he goes through 7 stories, and they're all just little clips from the Boys universe, and they've actually dropped a couple of things on there that like are definitely like almost spoilers for the next season. That you're like, oh wait, we haven't heard from that person. We never even met that person. We don't know anything about that at all. But they're giving you kind of like little teasers about the next season of what's coming up. It's really kind of interesting.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I just thought it was kind of cool. I know Peter didn't want to get into the boys rabbit hole because the comics he did not enjoy.
No, that's technically incorrect. I really liked the comics. I never want to see anything to do with it ever again.
It's because it's fucked up.
Yeah, it was a really great comic. I'm glad I read it. I don't need to revisit it.
They've taken a lot of the really awful stuff from the comics out.
But,
They've
like,
left a
have
lot of it
they?
in. No. The scary part is they really have. They've taken some of the stuff that's really. They've taken the really bad stuff from the comics out. They've left the stuff that they're like, I guess that's okay. There's a lot of shit they've taken out from that wasn't in the comics. Actually, the one thing I have a problem with the show on is that in the comics, all the boys also use the superhero drug when they're fighting superheroes. And
Yes.
they don't do any of that in the show, or
No,
at least not yet. They haven't.
Yeah. And then more boys. We got another trailer for Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, which is coming out in December.
The music does sound amazing. It seems like they've done a really good job with that. I will give them that.
Ansel Elgort is playing the lead male character.
Tony.
It's been a really long time since I read West Side Story, so I don't remember people's
Read West Side
names.
Story. I never read West Side Story. I've only ever seen the movie. There's
Really?
a book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was based on a play, and
Never
we had
heard.
in high school after we read Romeo and Juliet, we had to read West Side Story, and then we got to
Which
watch
is the
the
same
movies.
story.
Right, but that's why we had to. We read it like oh, Shakespeare. Well, here's like modern Shakespeare. Compare and discuss.
I only have one problem with that original movie. That he's running through a predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhood in New York, screaming Maria, and only one girl comes to the window. I'm just saying. Odds are not good on that. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
But I hope she's really doing the singing in this, because if she is, the version of Tonight that was amazing, and I love the music in that original musical.
I'm pretty sure they are, because Ansel Elgort is the same dude that plays fucking Elton John in Rocket Man.
Oh, is that who it was? I probably shouldn't admit this because it is a crime. I was watching it while driving home.
You stupid.
Couldn't tell. I didn't know who it was.
Anyway,
My brain's just stuck on someone going, Maria! And then some woman sticking her head out. Which Maria? The one in apartment B or the apartment D? There's another one across the road, too. Which one are you talking about? And he's like, oh,
I don't know her last
fuck, I don't know her last
I don't know her
name.
last name.
All three of them.
I'm
Their
Maria.
last
My
name.
sister's Maria, and she's Maria too.
They all have the last name. They're all the same.
That's getting a little racist. It was already a little bit there, but
so I watched a really interesting documentary on Amazon Prime
oh, did you
called
actually watch this documentary? I didn't. I thought it was just a trailer. I didn't know it was already out.
Lula Rich. Yeah, it's already out. I've already watched the whole thing. So you guys, I don't know if are you guys familiar with LuLaRoe?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
No,
it's not a who,
it's a company.
what. So LuLaRoe is
It's the dick leggings.
is a clothing company, and this beginning story was actually really interesting of how this lady and her husband started the company, but it basically started with them like making maxi skirts and selling them out of like the trunk of her car, and then she got people to like invest, and basically the way LuLaRoe works is the same way like Mary Kay and
It's a multi-level marketing scheme.
Pyramid.
Multi-level marketing.
Pyramid.
It's an inverted funnel.
So
Funnel system, yeah.
Triangle.
It's that inverted funnel system.
So the beginning was really interesting, and learning about her and how she got this all started. Where it started getting wacky was when her husband really started getting involved and pushing the whole multi-level marketing thing.
Pyramid.
I'm getting there. Hold on. So they got a couple. They call them retailers involved, and they buy.
Rubes.
Pyramid.
They buy the stuff wholesale from them, and then they sell it to their customers. And because their styles are limited and unique, you never know which retailer is going to have what. So it kind of encourages you as a consumer to seek out different people selling LuLaRoe to try and get different pieces to match together and da-da-da-da-da. So then they started, their business started really, really growing because all these women were getting really excited because the way they kind of marketed people and getting involved was it was like part-time work for full-time pay. And when you got other people involved, pin. Just hold the pin. Just hold it there.
What is
Pin.
happening?
Tom's
Pyramid.
There it is.
But yeah, and I mean these women were making outrageous amounts of money because it was like the more people you had under you, you moved up the pyramid, and then they were getting bonus checks based on orders as opposed to sales. And then the husband and wife decided that they were going to get their whole family involved. So like everyone in the family had like different roles and everything. And I mean, they were having like huge conventions where they would take like their top people out, and they were going on cruises and like all of this stuff. And so at one point, like they're showing you this training video, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we really got to get away from like people thinking we're a pyramid scheme." And then because the clothes were really good quality and they were really cute, but at some point when something changed, and they changed the bonus structure, so instead of you getting paid for how many people were ordering under you, you only got paid based on sales. So if you didn't sell anything, you would make no money. And then like the quality of clothes started going down, and that's where the dick leggings came from, because they were basically pressuring their people to like the one girl who they were interviewing who is a designer, and they had to turn in 100 prints a day.
Seems intense.
And like they were encouraged to just like steal shit off the internet. And the rule of thumb is you had to change at least 20% of the pattern to like not get sued for copyright. Fun fact, there's been 50 lawsuits against them since 2016 between copyrights and between like, if I'm selling LuLaRoe and then 10 ladies down the street over here and 10 ladies down the street over here are also selling LuLaRoe, that becomes a problem. And at the time, they didn't have a return policy. And like people were getting the dick leggings, they were getting, it wasn't actually a dick. It was supposed to be, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it was placed right in the crotch area.
Pyramid.
And well, yeah, and then like they were getting leggings that like were really stinky, and because they'd been left outside, and oh my god, it was just like some wild shit. And no, I totally agree with you. It 100% is a pyramid scheme. But I gave the documentary 8 cats because I just thought that it was insanely interesting.
Yeah, because you learned about how a pyramid scheme works.
No, I knew how a pyramid scheme works. It
You
was
just watched it in real time.
It was just a really interesting documentary to watch these ladies who like had been involved with it, and like how they had to get out, and like some of them it destroyed their entire lives. Like
Yeah, 'cause
it was just nuts.
Yeah, because they made their whole life about that pyramid scheme, and then once the pyramid scheme kind of went away, and it's about how you sell now. Yeah, like you
Lula
took
Rich
away.
is still in business. Lula Row. You can go to their website.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah, Aramark's still in business. Herbalife's still in business.
It's a pyramid scheme.
If you're stupid enough to fall for it, technically it's not illegal.
Yeah, no, that's how they get you. It's because you're dumb, and you go, oh, that sounds like a good idea. You're saying that if I get 3 other people to sell below me what they sell, I get commission on.
I was really pissed off. Somebody tried to recruit me into that, but they lied the whole time they were doing it. Like literally, like he's like, "Oh, this is who I work for." Was not Aramark or even one of their subsidiary companies that gets you to sign up for them, because there's companies that literally have grown up now just to get people to sign up for Aramark, and they don't even make money off of the Aramark system. They make money off of their own pyramid scheme to get you into a different pyramid scheme. It's pretty impressive, honestly. He's like, "Oh yeah, we have a job interview. It is a mass interview, but it'll be a little small thing. I'll show up there with you. It'll be great. I'll talk to them about you. I think we can get you in." I'm like, "Oh man, that sounds great. I'd love to do that." I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, this is like a full-time job. Not even like, this is not a side hustle or anything like that. Yeah, it's a thing." And I go, "Okay." Show up, and I'm like, "Bro, you know this is a pyramid scheme, right?" And he goes, No, it's not." And I go,
It's multi-level marketing.
he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, as soon as you use those words,
It's a pyramid.
that guarantees
It's
it's a
a
pyramid
no,
scheme.
it's
He
not
goes,
a
"No, it's
pyramid."
not. But you do make more money based on the number of people you have underneath you." And I'm like, "So I'd be one of the people underneath you? So I'd be making you money?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Then I'm the fuck out. Bye." I literally walked out in the middle of the guy's presentation. It was amazing. I'm like, "Bye, everybody." I literally waved. We were in the middle of a hotel ballroom. It was amazing. I'm like, I took all the free gifts he gave me. I'm like, "Thanks for the samples. Y'all are all idiots if you fall for this. Bye." And I walked out. It was the best feeling I ever had in my life. I'm like, "This is the stupidest shit in the world. Y'all are all gonna fall for this. You dumb motherfuckers."
But that's what they do. They get people who are just looking for a quick buck or something
What really
like that.
makes me
and then
sad
what they do is they
is that guy thought I was stupid enough to fall for it. That honestly, that's what really upset me the most, is that he actually thought I was stupid enough to fall for him and got me there.
most of those people are trying to convince you that what they're trying to sell or what they're trying to do is viable, that it's going to make you money.
But it's not.
80% of the people don't make money.
Right. And 80% of those people usually just go, "Hey, would you like to help sell with me?" And then they don't know how to either, one, convince other people. They don't have the charismatic, mentality to try and get followers and buy and stay on top of them. Because the pyramid scheme really works like this. I am at the top. I get 2 people who sell. I look at those 2 people and say, "So have you found anybody else that made sales?" And then those people goes, "Yeah, I have other 2 people." And I go, "Great, stay on them. Try and see if they can make more sales." Blah, 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 blah. And that's your job, is just to manage the people below you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they make money. Those 20% of people, it's because they're just good managers. They just basically keep in contact with the people below them
100%.
and train those guys to keep in contact with them.
To get more people. Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. That's the company he was even trying to get me to work for is literally a company that, like, basically was like, "Oh, we'll teach you how to multi-level market."
Yeah.
And then, but we also have we have our own tier system, just like Aramark, but we actually sell Aramark products.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a pyramid scheme in
It
itself.
was a
That's all
pyramid
it is.
scheme within a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive. Honestly, it was pretty impressive. But I'm like, how stupid do you have to be to fucking fall for this?
Pretty stupid.
And I'm like, and I was looking at the guy. I'm like, he's
Sorry
like,
for anybody who's in a pyramid scheme.
well, yeah. I legitimately do feel very sorry for you, because it's an awful proposition to be in most of the time.
Because you're putting a lot of work in for
Little to
nothing.
zero return, yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, we had talked about Amazon Prime Cinderella.
We did.
That finally came out.
Oh, is it a movie or is it a show?
It's a movie.
Oh, you watched it?
I did.
Without me?
Yeah.
Rude.
You really did not seem into
Why don't you
it.
just watch it on your way home?
I was not super into it. She's not wrong.
Yeah. So
Well, the music
you-
seemed good. No?
You didn't miss anything.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't miss anything.
It was by the writers of Pitch Perfect. Idina Menzel. It was amazing as always.
Who is she in it?
She played the stepmom.
Oh. Well, that might be worth it.
It really wasn't. I'm
No?
only giving it a 5 cats.
That's 5 out of 8. That's pretty high.
That's pretty good.
That's like
The
60%.
The only reason I gave it a 5 was because the singing was amazing.
There we go.
And Idina and Camilla Cabello, like, performances were amazing. But, like, the story itself was super predictable.
Well, it is Cinderella. You've seen the
Cinderella.
movie
Yeah,
1,000
Cinderella.
times.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't even like the same Cinderella story, like what I was trying to tell you guys. So, like, she wants to open this dress shop, right? So,
Yes, Dresses by Ella.
yeah. But, you know, women don't, they're not business people. Like, they don't, that's not how it works during that time. And, you know, but she's determined to make her dreams work. And there's like a turning of the guard or something. So all the people, like, go to the castle because the king's going to make this announcement and there's going to be a turning of the guard or whatever. So, the stepmom and the stepsisters, who actually I really did enjoy the stepsisters too. They were fucking hilarious. Honestly, the two of them were my favorite part of the whole movie. They were just the one-liners were just.
Grisella and what's the other one's name?
They changed them for this.
Bullshit.
I don't remember what they were.
Fucking bullshit.
The stepmom's name was Vivian, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they're at this courtyard thing. And, like, she can't see, right? Because, like, these fucking, all these people in her way. So she decides she's going to climb up this statue and she's going to sit on the statue so she can see what's happening. And, like, the king just, like, eyes her. It's just like, get off my father! Because it's a statue of his father. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see. You know, maybe you should get some, like, bleachers back here for, like, the peasants so, like, we can, like, see. And the prince, like, starts cracking up. Like, he thinks she's fucking hilarious.
Because that is funny.
'cause
But you should not be talking to the king like that. That's
Yeah.
a good way to lose your fucking head.
So
if I remember correctly, Cinderella's French. Right?
Sure.
Believe
No.
No, Beauty and the Beast was French.
Well, I think Cinderella's French, too. I believe that's a
I
French
think
fairy tale.
Cinderella's German.
Is she German?
Yeah,
That was a
'cause
French fairy tale.
Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast are French. Cinderella is not. Cinderella is either English or she's German. Anyway, so before that happened, you know, they're trying to find the prince a suitor, and it kind of felt very, like, Aladdin-ish, you know, where, like, the suitors are coming in and he's just like, ugh. And so, like, the king's, like, freaking out, like, you need to find a suitor, you want to be king, you've got to find a princess.
The French story is Cinderella.
Whatever.
I knew she was French, but she's going to get her head cut off.
Okay, well, it didn't look like it takes... What?
When I looked it up, it said it was Italian.
Belle and Cinderella are from France.
That's just the Disney canon, though.
Yeah. that's-
So, anyway. So, the prince decides, she's funny, I've got to find this girl. So, he basically tricks his father, and he's like, all right, Dad, you want me to find a suitor. You're going to have this big ball. Fine. But the deal is, you need to invite every girl in the kingdom to the ball.
No matter what.
No matter what. And he's like, fine, whatever.
And I can pick any girl that's at the ball.
Right. So he's like, okay, he decides that he's going to sneak down and pretend to be a peasant because he wants to find this girl because he wants to personally invite her to the ball.
I bet he does.
So, like, he goes down there. In the meantime, she
Thank you,
had snuck out because she's going to try and sell this, like, dress she made. And he ends up buying it because he, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy this dress from you, and you're going to come to the ball, and I'm going to and I've got some hookups. Like, I know some people, so I can introduce you, and then that's how you can get your business started or whatever. So she's like, oh, okay, I'll go to the ball.
But what he really wants is to fuck her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, then, you know, the whole thing happens where she, like, makes her dress, and the evil stepmom, she's getting ready to leave with the girls, and she's like, oh, no, like, you're not going to the ball, you're already spoken for, someone came today. Greek, look at that. So, you know, you're already spoken for, this guy had come and he asked for your hand, and you're gonna go marry that guy, and that's gonna be that. So, and then she, like, spills ink all over her dress to ruin it so she can't go. And then,
course.
you know, she does the cry and I'm sad or whatever. And that's when Billy Porter shows up as the fairy godmother.
Sings the song in the garden, and Godmother shows up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was the fabulous Godmother because the fairy's a derogatory term for gay people, so he wouldn't call himself a fairy godmother.
Yeah, I'm your fabulous godmother. So then, you know, gives her the super fancy dress and turns the
Baby
mice, who one of the mice is played by James Corden, who's also always fantastic.
He can sing pretty well too.
And they get her to the ball. So she's at the ball, and she can't find him, and he doesn't know where she is. But in the meantime, she runs into this queen, and the queen's like, "Oh my gosh, like who designed this dress? It's really pretty." And she's like, "Oh, I did," and offers her a job to go travel with her and design all of her clothes. He's sharing with you. And so she's like, "Oh, yay!" So then she's like trying to sneak out because at this point, like, he's got to make his choice, and you know he's upset because he hasn't seen her yet. So as he's making this speech about how, "Oh, I've made a choice, like she hasn't shown up yet, and there's this really amazing girl," and as she's trying to sneak out, she like stumbles over some stuff and of course causes a ruckus. And he's like, "Oh my God, there she is!" And then they have the like spotlight dance where they sing, you know, the super romantic song. And then he's like, "All right, let's take a walk so we can, you know, have some quiet time and just kind of talk." And then they're in this one room and she's talking about her hopes and dreams. And he's like, "You know, you should marry me and you know, then you wouldn't have to do any of this." And she's like, "But that's not what I want. Like, I want to do... What is your plan here?" And he basically tells her, "Oh, well, you know, if you marry me, no, you can't, because women don't work. That's not what women do." And she's like, "Yeah, no, fuck that. Deuces, bro." And
So she doesn't want to marry the prince.
she doesn't want to marry the prince because if she marries the prince, she won't be able to make dresses because women don't.
Yeah, but she also thinks the prince is cute, right? And she kind of likes him.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
But she has to take care of her.
Do you.
Meantime,
Hashtag girl boss.
In the meantime, in the background, all of this, his little sister Gwen has been trying to like assert herself and keeps getting like shut the fuck down
Because she's a woman.
because she's a woman. So then he's like, "Okay, you know what? I love you, so I'm gonna help you get out of here so that you can go with this other queen and make all her clothes and do what you love." So he helps her escape, and the king is pissed.
Because he didn't actually pick a suitor? Or
Yeah, basically.
woman? Yeah.
Basically. So she goes off, and then through this whole thing, everyone has like basically has a revelation where the king gets in the fight with the queen because the queen's like, "No, fuck you, you're a fucking douchebag. Like, you loved me once and you didn't think of, like, you've only been thinking with the crown for like ever." And it's like, yeah, he's the king. So then because of that spat, he agrees that, "You know what, son, if you don't want to get married, that's totally fine. You seem to really love this girl. You need to go find her and be with her." So basically the movie ends with he gives up the crown to go travel with Ella and make dresses. Gwen gets to be the next in line, so she's gonna be queen without having to like marry anybody and do all the things. The king and queen are happy, and then Ella helps her stepmom out, and like everybody's happy.
Okay, that seems dumb. So they go around and try and fit a glass slipper on anybody's foot?
No,
What the fuck?
there's a glass slipper, but they don't try and shove it on anyone's feet.
But it's not even Cinderella. Is it really Cinderella if it's not like the Grimm's fairy tale version where the...
It's a Cinderella type story.
Right.
I like the original, like the Grimm's fairy tale one. Well, I guess that's not the original, but I like the Grimm's fairy tale one where the said sisters are literally cutting parts off their feet to try and fit in the glass slippers, and then they got their eyes pecked out by ravens at the end.
Yeah, Grimm's fairy tales were
Grim.
dark.
They were grim. It's kind of the whole point.
Dude, the Sleeping Beauty one is fucked up too.
Well, yeah, that she was basically raped and then gave birth while she was still asleep, and then the child sucks the piece of the splinter out of her finger, and then she wakes up and she goes, "Oh, I've got kids and I'm queen. Okay, who was not stopping this?"
Peter Pan's just about a bunch of dead children.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Didn't know that one actually.
I think Little Mermaid, don't they eat her?
I think so. Yeah.
No, she actually just dies on the beach because she gives her lungs and legs underwater, but her legs, literally, she just cuts her tail in half, so she bleeds out and drowns.
Hot.
Yeah. So the moral of that story is, don't do stupid shit for a dude or a woman. Either way. Either way.
Don't change who you are.
Don't change who you are for some dick.
Yeah.
Deep.
So let's take
Unless it's a deep dick.
let's take a quick break so that I can get another drink, and then we'll come back with Gamers Corner.
Hi, it's the Flannel Guy again. If you join us on Patreon, you get access to our Discord where you might get to talk to me, and I might still be talking like this.
Welcome back to the 8-Bit Cat Show.
Hey, that's us.
Hey.
Hi-oh.
Say
Hello,
hi,
kitty.
Peter.
See, we got a cat
Hi.
now.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into some Gamers Corner.
That's the gaming part of the show.
Yeah. So, the PlayStation 5 September firmware update just happened. On top of being able to customize your control center to span parties, there's 3D audio optimization. The big exciting thing is they've approved storage expansion.
So you can now put a...
M.2 SSD between a 2 and 4 terabyte inside your PS5.
in it.
In it.
It's a sadly small amount for the amount of work you have to do to get it in there.
I was
That
about to say,
is
like, don't
true.
you have to take this whole fucking thing apart?
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems like a lot of work. Why can't I just plug it into the back of it?
Unknown.
Okay, because like with an Xbox, you can just plug it into the back of it.
I mean, you can with the PS5 as well, but it won't read PS5 games. It only just feels.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It is.
Yeah, with the Xbox, you can plug whatever you want into the back of it.
But here's
Yeah,
the thing.
or PS5 I can play God of War, so I still win.
Okay, God of War.
But here's
Yeah, but with the Xbox, you can play Halo Infinite.
I can do that on computer too, and it'll be better.
So here's the thing. PS4 did the same thing though. Like when they first were like, "Oh, you can do storage expansion." At first, it was only internal, and then I think it was like a year or two later they allowed you to do external. So I imagine they will probably take a similar route with this.
That still seems dumb.
I mean, yeah, but at least it's something.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't feel like getting excited over little things that I should have already been able to do with the thing when they gave it to me.
I take my wins where I can get them.
It doesn't feel like a win when it should have just been an option that when we paid a ridiculous sum of money for the thing.
Look, just don't get me started on it.
I would like. To,
Monster.
I kind of want to get you started.
No,
We're not talking about release dates on this one.
it doesn't matter. Same shit. Just different subject.
Well, put a pin into that because I'm going to circle back to that later.
We're circling back.
We're going to circle back. But first, we're going to talk about the THQ Nordic 10th Anniversary Showcase. So I love
Is that pronounced thick? THQ?
No, it's
Thick.
pronounced THQ.
That shit's thick. Thick and sound.
Stupid. THQ Nordic has produced some of my favorite games, including like the Darksiders franchise. So I was pretty excited for this. So they opened their show with Destroy All Humans 2.
I've heard of
Reprobed.
Destroy All Humans.
Did you play it at all?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's amazing. You murder everybody as an alien.
pretty much it.
His name is Crypto.
Is it so? It's pretty accurate. You destroy all humans. Huh?
They've gotten super crazy with this one though. Fucking Godzilla shows up.
I bet he can destroy some humans.
It's unclear whether he's friend or foe, but
Both.
yeah.
Probably both.
In
He's
the
kind of
first
always both.
in the first game, you were really limited to like America, and it looks like on this one it's gonna be like worldwide. So I'm pretty excited for that.
So you really get to destroy all humans this time, not just destroy all Americans.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds nice. That's inclusive. I like that.
Peter, thoughts?
I mean, Destroy All Humans has always been a fun kind of game, but it's not something I get crazy hype about. It feels like a put the game on because you don't want to think while you're for a minute kind of game.
I love those games.
Yeah, it's a veg game.
Yeah.
I don't like vegetables.
So we also got, excuse me, dying. I'm okay.
Yay.
Everything's fine.
Joking on that bullshit.
He's joking on that bullshit.
Outcast 2, A New Beginning, which is apparently like they're bringing back a game from forever ago. I don't know. Never played it. Not familiar. We got to look at another game, Expeditions Rome, which kind of looks like your
Typical.
Tickle.
It's a tickle.
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 What's a tickle pole?
It's a great question. Strategy, like a Halo Wars type of.
You mean like Civilization?
Yeah.
There you go.
Where-
I was looking for it.
Where it's
Command and
hard.
Conquer?
Then we got the next MX.
A third-person RPG?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
Nothing. I was mumbling to myself. You're good.
Got it.
No, mumble out loud.
So we got the look at the next. Sorry, I was mumbling to myself. You told me to do it.
No, I wanted Peter to mumble out loud. I wanted to hear what he actually said.
Oh.
I want to hear.
Most likely the term you were looking for was RTS, and it's not that hard.
Yes, thank you. Real-time strategy.
It's past my bedtime, okay?
Smartass.
So we
Better
also
smart ass
got
than dumbass.
MX, the next MX versus ATV. It's going to be Legends.
I don't know that one either.
Motorcycles,
It's
ATVs.
Yeah.
Motocross versus ATV?
There you
Yeah.
Oh, MX then doesn't make sense to me.
This-
Motocross made sense to me. MX doesn't
Well,
make
that's
sense.
what it's called,
MX.
MX versus ATV.
go. Motocross.
Yeah, it's motocross.
It's easier to sell MX than motocross.
Never heard of motocross called MX.
Have you never heard of the
That's
MX?
what they call the games. It's basically MX versus ATV.
That's dumb.
It literally
You've
says
never heard
MX on
the
on
MX
box.
game?
No, never. Not
They've
once.
been out forever.
I'm not a PlayStation. I've never really been a PlayStation guy.
It's not a PlayStation, just any game.
Well,
It's
Yeah.
on Xbox. It's on
These are on
PlayStation.
everything. This isn't a specific console.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so moving on. They showed off another game called Superpower 3. I didn't take any notes on it because it wasn't memorable, so we're just going to move on
Ouch.
along.
Ouch! Burn! Burn!
Superpowers 3 sounds interesting.
That one was thin, not thick.
I also watched this showcase like 2 weeks ago, so, you know, like...
Dos semanas.
little-
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a fortnight. That's a full fortnight
So,
right there.
we also got Elix 2. I feel like, Peter, this is a game that you might have been excited
Elix.
about. Did you-
Elix.
Did you
E-L-E-X.
like the first one, Elix?
Oh, no, that's not a game of series I've messed with before.
Oh, I'm confusing it with something else then. My apologies.
Probably like Helix.
Then we got a look at Jagged Alliance 3, which is a top-down tactical game, which looked kind of cool, kind of alright. And then they ended the show with SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake.
The
Honestly,
only thing we're talking about in this entire showcase.
I will say honestly, I think I have played a THQ game then. If they made the SpongeBob games, because those are actually solid games. Those SpongeBob games are actually pretty solid.
Well,
I've enjoyed those.
They've got another one coming out.
The writing's great. Actually, the gameplay has been fantastic.
I
on
mean,
most
I'm
of those.
sure it's SpongeBob. They're pretty good, talented writers. To keep
And
you
Tom
entertained,
Tom
but-
Kenny actually does all the voiceover for
Oh,
it,
yeah.
so it really it sounds right
The
too.
animation looked really good.
It was the one thing I saw in the entire showcase. Like, oh, I might get that. It's just,
I'm ready. What were you excited about?
The Nintendo Direct.
What's Nintendo? I'm sorry, I'm just fucking.
What's
You know
with the
what?
direct? What's going on there?
Why is what,
So,
what makes it
Peter,
direct?
did you watch the Nintendo Direct?
I watched parts of the Nintendo Direct. I'm assuming you're excited about the Mario thing.
You're skipping ahead, sir, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
What else was there of note? There was a lot of ports that were coming out.
Sorry, I'm going to start from the beginning and we're going to go through it. So, they opened with the expansion pass for Monster Hunter Rise called Sunbreak, which is coming out summer 2022. So, that's House Hunter Rise by MinMax. Anyway, moving on. So then we also got a look. They're doing another Mario Party. It's going to be Mario Party Superstars coming out October 29th.
So it's gonna have the exact same characters as always. What makes them superstars?
You'll be able to play this one locally online.
Locally online.
That makes you a superstar.
Or there's online support, so you can play locally online, or you can play like Peter. Like we could all play together online.
What is? Okay, so we
Like
so
locally online means like if I have a Switch and you have a Switch, we can hook together on the same Wi-Fi and play.
Oh, okay.
Or
okay.
if you have like the Nintendo Switch online service, like you can play with your friends.
You know what'd be cool is you just play split screen.
On a Switch? No, not on a Switch.
Guess what? You can hook it up to a fucking TV. It's big enough.
on
It'd be
Mario
neat if you could. I didn't say you couldn't, and you can. You can definitely.
Peter wants to talk.
What do you got, Peter?
I mean, you don't split screen on Mario Party anyway. They're party games. You're all on the same screen constantly.
Well, why do you need two switches anyway?
You don't necessarily. Well, what if you were on a road trip and you're in a hotel and you can't like hook your shit
Look,
up?
when it comes to him driving and doing things, I wouldn't trust it. Okay.
Normally, if we're on a road trip, I'm driving. I'm not allowed to play video games.
Driving with his knee, just going, I'm gonna get you. Oh, fuck, damn it, I keep losing. I don't know why I keep losing. Hold on, no.
You think I couldn't do
I'm
it?
driving.
Hey, Mario Kart, she beat me, but if we were playing Smash Brothers, I think I could beat her while driving.
While
I'm
driving.
pretty sure I could beat her while driving.
Anyway, and then we gotta look at this game I've never heard of. It's like a new IP. It's called Voice of Cards: The Isle of Dragon Roars. It's like one of those card games, but it's video game.
So it's Yu-Gi-Oh?
Kind of, except it's like a role-playing card game. It's like really weird. I was not into it. I was not feeling it, but it is coming out October 28th. The demo is out now if you'd like to give it a try yourself.
I mean, it sounds like a game that I have.
It seems
where,
interesting.
Where it's like
Intriguing, at least.
there's a game that's either on Steam or something like that called like Wizards and Cards or something like that, and it's pretty much just an RPG where you kind of build your own like wizard castle for students and stuff, almost like almost like Hogwarts, but it's all based off of cards and random draw.
Yeah, that sounds what like this is.
Kinda just-
Except
yeah.
instead of building a character, like you already have a character and you're
Building on top.
yeah. And then we got Disco Elysium Final Cut. I'd heard of this game.
Disco Elysium?
Disco Elysium. But
Okay.
what makes me want to play this game is the intro is this. Become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being. And I said, you know what? I'm in.
See, I wish I don't like games like that because I'm already an absolute disaster of a human being. I don't want to do that in a video game, do these? It's supposed to be escapist fantasies.
It sounds like Fable.
Yeah.
Being
Which-
very terrible to people or
which-
being very good to people.
Which Fable
Peter,
was...
did you ever play the disco games?
No, I considered grabbing them, but I ended up, I think I bought Divinity instead.
Ah.
I don't know. I
Yes.
liked Fable.
Well, if you're interested,
Fable 2 is legit.
I played all of them.
the digital version comes out October 12th, and the physical edition comes out next year.
3 was just okay. They could have
Waiting until next year.
What?
I prefer physical editions of games, so I'm going to be waiting for it.
Yes.
You might be waiting
Same.
forever. They're probably never going to make digital. They're probably never going to make physical editions of games ever again. They're really going away from it, and it makes me sad too.
I know. That's why you gotta keep an eye on limited run games.
Yeah, you can get now. There's a bunch of games now that you can get the steel book cover.
Mr. Kitty, you've entered the podcast.
What's up, Mr. K? Yeah, you can get the steel book cover, but you'll never get
my
a
God,
disc to put
hello.
inside of it.
Peter, Mr. Kitty has entered the podcast.
Oh, really?
He's on the table and everything.
What's up, buddy? Come here.
Try to lock him into my spot, and I'll just be the cat now.
Perfect.
He's very confused.
You could honestly take any spot at this point.
We can put you in here digitally anywhere.
Yeah.
Like here, or there,
Here,
or there.
there.
Any
Feel
of these
like I'm
spots.
good.
It'd almost be like you were here already.
So then we got expansion pass wave 2 for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. It's called Guardian of Remembrance, and that comes out October 29th.
Wow, you spelled remembrance so wrong.
Yeah, I did, but you're not supposed to be looking at my screen because you make fun of me when I spell words wrong. You know what's really bad is like
It's
I could have
even-
just done this.
It's
not
even in the
tire,
spell check.
it's tier.
It's even in the spell check. Like it had the red line
It's like
underneath it.
every episode we have
Buddy.
this. It's the same
Well,
thing.
yeah, someone had to do it now that I'm gone.
She literally could have right-clicked it and fixed it, and just did it now.
What's up, Fatso? Bye,
So
Fatso.
we're also getting Chocobo.
Chocobo?
Chocobo.
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 It could be Chocobo.
Chocobo the Chocobo.
That's like your favorite game series, and you couldn't say Chocobo?
I fucked it up, guys.
God,
Is it, wait,
No.
is it Chocobo or is it Chocobo?
It's Chocobo.
Okay.
You need
I've
Choco-
never-
you
I-
need to you need to get a painting or a T-shirt that now says Chocobo the Chocobo.
Someone make me that shirt.
What's Chocobo?
It's just a name.
No. What? I don't know what this game is.
A Chocobo.
Oh, do you know what a Chocobo?
Chocobo.
Fuck. Do you
What the
know
fuck's a Chocobo?
The
It's,
animals that you ride in Final Fantasy.
It's one of the birds you ride in Final Fantasy.
I've never played Final Fantasy.
Wow.
So they come in.
Not one of them.
Peter, send Zach a picture of a Chocobo.
If it's the thing from Final Fantasy, I know what it is. I've just never played Final Fantasy.
So,
I didn't
yeah,
know what
this-
it was called.
So this isn't.
It's the weird
I was
bird
re-
thingy.
I was really excited because when I saw it, I thought it was going to be another Chocobo Tales, and
No,
I loved that
it's
game
a
on
GP.
the DS.
It's a racing game, isn't it?
And I was really excited because I love Chocobo Tales on the DS, but no, it's just a fucking another Mario Kart
Yeah,
but
it's
with
a
Final
racing game.
Fantasy
Okay.
characters.
It's a racing game.
It's coming out next year. There's going to be online play. That's all I want to say about it because I'm really sad.
Chocobo the Chocobo.
I mean, you do realize you're probably going to get to race around this cloud now, right?
Yeah, but I want Chocobo Tales. Square Enix, make Chocobo Tales.
Okay, so it's not even. You're not even like running. It's a car that looks like one of these things.
No, that's an actual Chocobo, like on skates.
Oh,
The
he's on
rest of the
skates.
the rest of the racers are in cars.
I thought he was like kneeling down and was like.
Not,
just
but that's the
a
thing about
car.
Chocobos. Like, why do they even need skates? Aren't they like ostrich fast?
It was the same thing with the Sonic Racing series where they were all in cars. Like, why does Sonic need to be in a
Yeah,
car?
yeah, you're right.
Faster than Blue?
Well, because Sonic can't drift.
And then I didn't watch it today, but they did say that on October 5th, the final Super Smash Brothers character would be revealed.
I did watch that today.
What was it, or who was it?
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Who was it?
Sora.
Ah, I thought you said Thor, and I was like, what?
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Woohoo!
That's actually kind of neat.
For all three of his different appearances in the games, as well as when he goes back into like the original Disney World, so he's all black and white.
No, nice. Sweet. Well, that's cool.
I think on like the 19th of this month.
So that'll be the last. And so then I guess they have to work on another Super Smash game.
Give the dude a break. He's been working on this game nonstop for at least 4 years.
No, I didn't mean like I didn't mean like, oh, they need to do that right away. But I guess like there's no more characters for this. So the next step when they're ready, they're just gonna make another
Well,
Super Smash.
in the defense, it has 82 fucking characters. Apparently, it's 82 in this version,
I believe it.
and none of them are Waluigi. What the fuck?
Isn't he a trophy or something, Peter?
Yeah, he's a trophy.
Yeah, he's-
Honestly, when the video was, when I was watching it, the chat was just getting mad that it wasn't Goku. Like, they considered that a real possibility that they would add Goku to Smash.
My question is, people apparently thought Master Chief would have been an option too. How is
We did
Master?
get- we did get Doom done.
But how is Master Chief going to show up in a Nintendo game?
Kind of the same way Solid Snake did.
Yeah, copyright. Being able to get the copyrights for it.
Yeah, but Microsoft's not going to let go of that.
I mean,
I mean, if they get a cut.
they licensed him out to be in Fortnite for a little while.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that Banjo-Kazooie is technically owned by Microsoft.
Oh, he is, isn't he? Yeah, he was an original Xbox
Yeah,
exclusive,
but Master
wasn't
Chief is their bread and butter.
he is literally their boy. He's on
Yeah.
everything. They
I'm just gonna-
need continuity. They need continuity of character on that one.
And at the same time, if you're gonna put Goku in there, that's just a can of worms you're trying to open up there.
Yeah. Who would have fight? Oh, actually, though, I do want to know who would win in a fight, Kirby or Goku. Also, Kirby going Super Saiyan would be fucking amazing.
Speaking of Kirby, guys, we're getting Kirby and the Forgotten Land, spring 2022.
I do like Kirby games. They're solid.
This one looks, oh my god, so it's,
This one's like the full 3D Kirby game, right?
yes, And so it takes.
I actually heard about this one. All right.
It takes place in a past civilization, which is like modern day abandoned today.
Like it's a post-apocalyptic Earth kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But yeah, but it's like the original like Mario 64. It's like full 3D.
Except it looks
Looks-
better
it
than
looks like-
Mario 64.
But that was like the first Mario game where you're like, oh, he's actually like everywhere.
Yes, Mario
you can see
64
everything.
is what really did the final push towards like the 3D.
Yeah,
3D
I'm just what I'm saying. But now it's Kirby, and I like Kirby way better than Mario. Fuck Mario. It's a you a sucker, Bill. I can't wait for Chris Pratt to be doing that. I'm sorry. Oh, we're gonna talk about that? Oh, sorry, I didn't know we were talking about that. I didn't remember that.
Pin.
It's in the same direct.
So then they said, hey guys, we know that we're telling you about Nintendo stuff right now, and you probably want to know what's happening in Animal Crossing, but we're not going to tell you right now. We're just going to tell you that we're going to tell you about it in another month. So apparently sometime
How does that make you feel, Tom?
sometime this
His fucking face.
I need that face full in the camera right now, please.
He's so mad. Hey, so we're gonna release stuff, but we're not gonna tell you when we're gonna release stuff. We're gonna tell you when we're gonna tell you we're gonna release stuff.
So sometime this month they're gonna have a full Animal Crossing Direct where they're gonna tell you about the free content they're releasing in November.
Hey, it's free at least. Hey, Tom, it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's free.
That's so fucking stupid. That is so goddamn stupid.
Oh God, Peter! I wish you could see his face right now. He's so mad.
My God. So guess what, guys? So I know we got some content coming out. We're gonna release it. We're gonna tell you about it this month. When we're gonna release it next month. So in reality, we're releasing it next month. Hey, it's all free, by the way. So instead of just telling you now, we're just gonna like let y'all sit on it. It's perfectly fine. And then when November comes, might not tell you anyway, but it's free content, so not like you guys are paying for it. So fuck you. Fucking stupid
Ow.
bullshit. That's why I hate games now. That's a simple reason. I just wait till shit comes out and people are like, oh, it's a good game. And I go, oh, I didn't even know it was out. Cool, well, go check it out.
Oh, Tom,
Hate
I
that
love you.
crap.
Microtransactions and pre-orders. Those are the two things I fucking hate.
It's never
So-
happening with me again. I'll never pre-order anything.
So back to Nintendo stuff. So then they were like, hey, Mario Golf Super Rush, here's a bunch of free updates, and told us about the free updates. And then they're bringing back Disney Magical Worlds. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition. You can download 1 now, and then 2 is coming out holiday 2021.
Is one of free?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was free. They probably wouldn't tell you anyway, so that's okay.
But anyway, and then Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the port is coming November 11th on the eShop.
Of this month?
November 11th?
Of this year?
Yes.
Sorry.
I was like, no, this is October.
You know what I meant.
Yes, this year.
This year.
November 11th.
That's
11/11.
that's just the pure port. That's not the one that they're remaking
No, this is
or whatever,
just a
right?
pure port. It's download. You have to buy it on the eShop.
Okay.
And
I
then
mean, I like that game, but I don't like the Switch's controller, so I don't know if I have to play it on the Switch.
you can play it on the Pro with the Pro controller.
Yeah, but I don't like that controller either. That controller's shit too.
Are you excited, Pita?
It's a slight remaster. It's not a port, but it's a very small change. I mean, I've got 1 million copies of that game at this point, so not really, but still.
I'm ready for the full remaster thing.
We're not going to talk about it. Tom's going to get mad again, and we have other things to get through. So,
Yeah, but I like to see that.
Dying Light 2 Stay Human Cloud version, whatever the fuck that means, is coming out February 4th.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means you'll have to stream the game.
Thank you.
Wait, what?
That means you're not getting a physical edition. You have to stream it on your Switch.
Like you don't even get to download
You'll
it.
get a cartridge, but it won't be like the Switch can't handle the game, so you're gonna have to stream the game to your Switch.
Oh.
So like you can't even
Weird.
download the game to your Switch.
It basically is like playing the Stadia.
That seems dumb.
So, Dying Light Platinum Edition, October 19th. We got another look at Triangle Strategy, which was a game they announced, I think, 2 years ago at E3.
I bet they did.
It's a 2D tactical RPG made by the people that did Octopath Traveler. They've done some updates since they released the demo back in February, and that has a release date now of March 2022. Metroid Dread comes out. They gave us another look at that, but that's coming in a couple
That
days.
should be cool.
And then
Metroid Dread's coming out in 3 days. Triangle Strategy was announced a few months ago. Nintendo's usually pretty good about announcing something and then having it coming pretty quickly.
no, it wasn't.
wasn't.
When they first announced Triangle Strategy, it was like 2 years ago at E3, and it didn't even have a name yet.
It was called Triangle Strategy. They released a demo a few days later.
Pyramid Scheme.
Triangle
Anyway.
Strategy, Pyramid Scheme.
So,
Oh my god, that's the new name for pyramid schemes. Oh, I'm part of a triangle strategy. You want to get in on this?
Nintendo Switch Online, they made some announcements for that. They're coming out with a new plan, which is going to have different costs associated with it. But N64 and Sega games are coming to Nintendo Switch, baby.
The big deal that I'm excited about on that one is they have a new Switch compatible and not even just compatible, but Switch designed for the Switch N64 controller.
And Sega.
Oh, fuck the Sega controller. That was a piece of shit controller too. But the N64 controller is a piece of shit controller in the perfect way.
I'm sorry, Peter, what did you say?
That controller was designed for an alien. It has 3 different handles for 3 arms.
Exactly. I love it. It is the biggest piece of shit controller in the world, but for the perfect reasons. It makes no sense. It hurts your wrist. It hurts your thumb. Honestly, I have nostalgia for that. I hope that it still hurts my wrist and it hurts my thumb when I use the
That
thing.
fucking joystick sucked.
No,
And then
see,
it would start
that's
to
what-
die on that joystick.
That's
so you'd
what I'm
have to
excited
force
about.
it forward. And,
I hope that if they use the new modern joystick thumbstick technology and put it in that so it doesn't wear out immediately.
It won't be a true replica if you don't break it in a month. So,
Like I said, I could use an update, and if I can now play GoldenEye on the Switch, I'm okay. But I want to play it with that controller because that's the only way I know how to play that game and be good at it.
What's coming late October, so later this
This is
month.
a new tier of the membership they're releasing. Did they say any of the benefits beyond just, oh, hey, now you'll get N64 and Sega Genesis games?
I don't remember.
Not really.
Because
No.
I tried watching it, I couldn't see anything beyond that. It seemed like that was the main focus. This is a higher paid tier of a membership that you already barely paid anything for, I guess,
Correct.
to get access to their online stuff, and they're just doing it to give you a few more games that they could have already been giving you.
Yes.
Well, apparently their reasoning is that because the N64 and Sega games take more power, and they're something else that I'm not remembering, that's what you're paying more money for, is the
I mean, these are
labor.
cool games that run on megabytes of use data. That's not exactly...
Yeah, the N64 means it's 64-bit. I'm sorry, there's not that much data in that. They cannot be really that.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like a bullshit.
What
What was that?
This is clearly some nonsense.
Yeah,
They
it seems-
really are just going to charge you extra money to get access to these games that they specifically held back. That's why, the first thing they show you is Ocarina of Time's coming for it.
Yeah,
They know
that-
people.
But not
It's
even
just
right
a-
away. You have to wait for that.
Yeah, that's bullshit excuse.
It's not going to hit until November, right?
Did they even say? I thought they just said later.
No, I thought they said November.
Go ahead,
Uh,
Tom. Go ahead. Let it out.
Tom, I'm just as angry here, so go for it.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm just letting you take over the reins here for once. Just let your anger out, Peter.
Let it out, Peter.
You're not getting any other benefit besides that you'll get access to these old games that they could have already been giving you. They could have had you just buy them single purchase, but they're going to have you subscribe to them so you can keep getting money to play a game that you played 20 years ago, mastered 20 years ago, and really don't need to play again.
I guess that's the only reason I'm sort of okay with the subscription thing is because then I didn't have to pay for the one game that I'm gonna go, okay, yeah, I don't know how to play this game. Why the fuck am I playing this game again? I played this 20 years ago and I've already beat it 2,000 times. Wait, why am I doing this?
Just remake and remaster the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Do an
Hey, and GoldenEye.
And GoldenEye, yeah, I'd buy them.
Oh, if you remade it and remastered GoldenEye, I'd
Yeah.
buy the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if,
the thing.
even if it played the exact same way. Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
They did a Wii version of that game that was great. I mean, yeah, they used the modern James Bond actor, but it was still really solid.
Wasn't that Quantum something?
Quantum of Solace was its own separate game. They did a remaster of GoldenEye. They replaced Pierce Brosnan with the modern James Bond
Daniel
actor.
Craig?
Daniel Craig, yeah. It's the original game, just with Daniel Craig now instead.
No, fuck that bullshit. Daniel Craig wasn't in GoldenEye. Pierce Brosnan was in GoldenEye.
Pierce Brosnan paid the king in the Cinderella thing I watched.
That would be kind of funny though, to play the 007 game and have that same like weird fog that they played with, you know, when you're walking through some of the levels.
I love that shit. I want to see that stupid shit.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to be
You know
remastered.
why they had the weird fog? It's because they couldn't render what they were trying to do.
I know.
Point being, Tom's right. They should have just remastered these games and re-released them for the Switch network. They didn't need to do this subscription thing just to keep making money out of nostalgic people.
But again, people are stupid and they'll buy this crap.
I'm gonna
If they
do
had
it.
done like a Zelda 25th anniversary thing like they did with Mario, yeah, I would have bought that right away. I don't care about the
Yeah, I would've
limited
bought it.
time to pick it up. Yeah, but this, it frustrates me. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I mean, I probably will because GoldenEye, but it's still a dick move, and I'll play the game, cancel the subscription immediately.
Well, tell us when you buy it so that I can play against you. We're doing slappers only. Slappers only and remote mines. That's all we're doing. Slappers only, remote mines.
Remote lines, and I'm sure Big Head as well, right?
Oh, no, not big head. That's cheating.
If we're not using guns,
Oh no, it is funny. I'll give you that. Hey, that is one reason. Again, I love the N64 controller because you always went over to your buddy's house and there was always one broken controller. If you had four, which you were like, oh fuck, he's got four, but one was always broken. We always had a buddy. I always went over to his house. One was broken. That guy, it was just escort mission. All he got was his thing was broken, so he just judo chopped the entire time. You couldn't stop it. And so everybody else just tried to blow that guy up, and he just tried to run away. That's why that game was so much fun, because everything was always broken. It was amazing.
So, go ahead.
yeah, we're good to move on to the next thing.
Oh,
This
for
is
sure. For sure.
So they're also Shadowrun Trilogy is coming next year. They took, I guess, the first 3 games, threw them in a trilogy. It's next year. We got Castlevania Advance Collection, the 4 games and that's out now. ActRaiser Renaissance was an OG NES game that they've updated. It's like you battle, cultivate, and world build. I don't know, it looked weird. That's out now. I don't know if it was Deltarune or Deltarune or Deltarune or whatever. It was this weird little pixel game. Looked weird as shit. Chapter 1 and 2, S out now. It's weird. And then we got the highlight reel, which is a quick rundown. Hot Wheels Unleaded, Surviving the Aftermath, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Wreckfest, Arcade Archives, and Rune Factory 5.
Wait, so like, there's a Hot Wheels game?
No, like they were like, hey, here's a bunch of other games that we're working on that are coming out soon.
But it's a Hot Wheels game.
No, they had a highlight reel where they took 6 games and said, here's a quick trailer of 6 games. So there's a Hot Wheels game and then
And that's what I'm saying. So there's a Hot Wheels game.
He's asking.
Not it's a
Yes.
Hot Wheels game, so there is going to be a Hot Wheels game.
Yes. And then
I feel like it'd be ridiculous.
See, my question is it like Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you build tracks that you run Hot Wheels on?
It doesn't
or do
matter.
you drive Hot Wheels around on a track?
It doesn't matter. There's no release date.
no, they did give release dates. I just didn't write them down.
They've got release dates.
Really good about giving release dates. Very rarely are they going to announce something that's not coming soon.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom.
Like when they said the next Kingdom or the final Smash character is coming, they gave the info today because it's releasing in 2 weeks.
More importantly, so then we got the biggest announcement ever.
Ever?
Illumination.
I don't know if ever.
They've partnered with Illumination, and they're making.
That was weird. Did you hear that? Is he chewing on shit? He is. He's totally chewing on shit.
Oh my god, he's totally fucked my ears up. Mr. Kitty, you're not allowed to be in charge of audio anymore.
That man is a terrible producer.
I just want to tell you guys about the Mario movie.
So it's by the people that made the Despicable Me movies.
Yeah. Coming out holiday 2022.
So that's a year from now. apparently I have.
Listen to this cast. Sorry, go ahead.
What was that, Peter?
No, she's saying it now. Go for it.
As Mario, we have Chris Pratt, Peach, Anya Taylor-Joy.
I don't know who she is. Everybody else I knew in this thing, but I don't know her.
Luigi will be played by Charlie Day.
That's a perfect casting to be like sad, like jealous Luigi. It's gonna be perfect.
Bowser, Jack Black.
I don't know about it, but I think he can do a great job.
Toad, Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes, 100%.
Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen.
Okay.
And
Don't
then
really know why, but I'm here for it.
and then Charles Martinet, who currently does the voice of Mario, is going to make surprise cameos.
So are they turning Donkey Kong into a stoner in this movie? Because Seth Rogen only plays
No,
stoners.
nobody knows.
Is there any audio of this yet?
No, there's not.
So,
But
him as a stoner.
but I have heard that they have that Chris Pratt has been working on the voice for like 3 months already, and he's like, I think he'll be really happy with the results of what we've worked on. He thinks because people are already like, oh, why didn't you have an Italian person plays it Mario?
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
because the whole point is.
Because it's a white dude who actually plays this guy, and he goes, "It's a me, a Mario."
It-
That's it. So that's all he does.
That's the only words he's really supposed to say.
Like that's all he does is a white dude just making noise. He's been doing it for like 25 years. Just
See, the real issue I have with it is like, how am I going to watch an hour and a half long movie of it's me, the worst stereotype in the video games?
I'm a psychopathic murderer.
No one remembers.
Extremely racist Italian stereotype.
Does no one remember the Super Mario Brothers show?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a racist.
Super racist.
Yes.
Super racist. Oh,
You're a mamba. I kill you.
I'm excited.
I
for
jump on the
it.
Koopa. Actually, it seems like.
Hate turtles.
Fuck turtles. Fucking the turtles.
Fuck turtles.
But honestly, I'll have to wait. I will actually watch a trailer on this one. I like to avoid trailers for a lot of movies, but I want to watch a trailer on this movie just to see what the fuck this is even going to be.
God, I
Yeah,
haven't
there's a lot of
practiced.
speculation right
Because
now.
it doesn't really make any sense, like
because
to do a Mario movie.
they're also like, why if Charles Martinet is still around, why aren't you just having him be Mario?
I did see somebody put like a great. Oh, what would be funny is if it's just here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, and there's just Chris Pratt for the rest of the movie.
I'm just wondering about Toad.
Keegan-Michael Key is. See,
But all of Toad's lines are just lots of yelling.
Ah!
yeah,
That's all.
I
Toad
think that's
ever
why
is.
you. I think that's why you hired Keegan-Michael
And it's got to be
Key.
high pitched, like just yelling.
See, that's what might be funny is that like in the games he's always yelled in a super high pitch.
Yeah.
But I think Keegan-Michael Key can pull that off. But I want the rest of it to be like him, like Shaft voice, like, "Hey baby, what's up?"
They probably will at some point in time just change the voice just to be it. But God, I just can't.
But so I guess it almost feels like are we gonna get like the Mario origin story? Because if Donkey Kong's there and Bowser's there,
Well, that's
it's
part
almost
of,
like a. It's
well, that's part of the question. Is it going to be like start off with a flashback because it says Charles Martinet is going to be surprise cameos and no one really knows what that means. So does that mean we're going to get like a flashback where it's going to be him as like young Mario or something, and like him and Donkey Kong?
Is Paulina gonna be there?
And then, or another theory I heard was maybe it's going to be like a multiverse like type thing.
The Nintendo verse?
Yeah, like the Nintendoverse.
Okay, that would be fucking stupid. I don't need that.
So pretty much Wreck-It Ralph.
They could just
Yeah.
do what they did with the Mortal Kombat animated movies, where they have a completely different voice actor voicing Scorpion, but then Ed Boon pops in to do the come over here's and get over here's.
Oh, you know what? That would make sense. That it's just Chris Pratt like with a kind of bad Italian accent, except for when the here we go.
Yeah. All the noises.
That's actually a pretty good one, right? There. You're pretty solid at that.
I practice that one a lot. I walk through my shop at work, and I'll just sit there and I go, oh, and people are like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I fell down. I stubbed my toe."
I stubbed my toe.
Jump on a Koopa for me. What's that noise?
What is it? It's like, wah. That's pretty much it. Just him jumping.
Any other thoughts on the Mario movie?
There's a lot that we need to. There's a lot more we need to know. That's my only thought.
Yeah.
A lot more we need to know.
Sounds funny.
So then
Be interesting.
The cast is huge.
Yeah.
we got Splatoon 3. This one's going to have a single-player campaign, and it's going to be called Return of the Mammalians.
Is that mammalians?
Sure.
Did you spell out mammalians or is it mammalians?
I think it's mammalian. I don't know.
It's definitely got a red line under
Who
it.
cares? Who cares?
No, I think it was mammalian because it was spelt funny.
Okay, it was.
Anyway, so then we got the announcement that I've been waiting for forever. So back in 2017, they were like, hey guys, Bayonetta 3 is going to be a thing. Finally! 2022, baby!
5 years later after they originally announced it. How do you feel about that, Tom? Give me your hot take on that real quick.
Pissed them off, aren't you?
Yeah. Doesn't even, no words need to be said. I think we got it.
So, with that face right there, you sent me a thing. It was like, hey, we should talk about this article. And it was all about how God of War fans were being assholes because they were like, hey, we're making this game. And then it got delayed till next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean that. So I sent that to you because, like, yes, I might get pissed off about release dates and things. You know, I think that if you're going to promote a game, you should have it in a ready queue and say, hey, I'm ready to make this game. The new God of War, the Ragnarok, they had pretty much a release date, and
It was ready to go. Almost,
Yeah,
is what they were saying.
and the lead actor,
Chris Judge,
who plays,
Kratos.
yeah, he basically, I guess, had some health issues. So
He had to have back surgery. He had both hips replaced, both knee replaced.
What the fuck happened to this guy?
Oh, he got
he
like
just-
real fucked up.
yeah, he's just been dealing with this for a while. So the developing company basically said
Santa
that
Monica.
we're not going to release it until he's
Because
ready
they
to go.
want they
and-
want him to do all the work.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
And they stood behind him and they stood behind their decision. And a bunch of fans got pissed off and started sending death threats to the developers.
Yep.
See, that's the one that's actually the only thing I'm okay with. Like, yeah, we knew we had a date. We had issues.
Yeah.
We want to have the guy that has been the voice of our franchise for the entire time it's been here. That
Well,
guy
not
should.
the entire time.
Yeah, but I mean, just
The
for
main
the
point.
main point
Yeah.
that they've had, but yeah, I mean,
Hey,
that's,
since he's been talking.
yeah, but I mean, like, why would you, as people? I mean, I get mad at developers for giving me no release date because it just makes no sense to give me an idea of a game and then go, yeah, this is what we're making. Okay, cool. You know, show it to me when it's done. But if you know the game's coming out and then you back out of a release date because one of your actors or one of your staff, or even the development staff, if someone of the development staff had died and you wanted to postpone it for just a moment to grieve or do whatever you needed to do, like, I think that's a legitimate excuse. And as consumers, we should understand, like,
Shit happens.
that person, those things happen, and you shouldn't be upset that a game didn't get released because of something human. You
Yeah.
know, not just necessarily we're doing it because we want you to get excited. It's more so like we're doing this because we care about our people.
Hey, or honestly, I have no problem with that. Hey, I know this was our release date. We told you right here. But guess what? The game's not going to be fixed. It's not going to work. It's going to be broken. We need to push back the release date.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that again is fine with me. if
I
you
have no
tell me.
problem with that.
I mean, the
Let me know.
cyberpunk issue, that alone, that game should have been scrapped. If it took you 12 years, 12 to 15 years.
And you still released it broken.
And you still released it broken. You should have just scrapped it. And you should have gotten new developers. You should have gotten different development staff, managers, whatever it was to make sure that that game could properly be managed, or found a workaround. Now, is it a beautiful game? Yes, it is. But I mean, you've basically had to rewrite code for multiple consoles just to make it towards the new gen consoles because you had it ready for computer. And even computer was shitty. Computer still sucked.
Yeah.
Because it was so glitchy on computer, and
I thought, and PC was the best of the versions.
yeah, and it just didn't work out. But I mean, with the God of War stuff, like, I highly respect the development company just for
Making that decision,
doing
yeah.
that. Because I mean, fuck everybody else.
That's how you should do it.
Yeah, because that actor is your main staple, and they've been putting a lot of work and effort to. Why are you going to try and rewrite them just for somebody to go, oh, I have a game? No, fuck you. Like, why?
No,
Don't
I
do
actually,
that.
I appreciate the decision.
Yeah. So I
But
backed
here's
them
the
up.
thing. So I just want to kind of take a step back here for a minute, because originally we didn't know why it had been delayed. The only reason we found out is because Chris Judge himself came out on social media and
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, this is what happened. This is why it it was delayed. It was because of me." But like stemming back, so before we found that out, we had, hey, God of War Ragnarok, it's coming out soon-ish, eventually, we don't know. So our last big topic of discussion, you were like, no, if people do that, you should boo. And, you shouldn't put up with that stuff. So, and I'm not saying that people should have sent the developers death threats. I think that's
I think
fucking
that's
ridiculous.
highly unacceptable.
But, like,
There's never an excuse for that.
No, there's
honestly.
never
it's
excuse.
kind of
Just don't buy the fucking game.
it kind of goes back to like the point that I was making before, is that you don't know what goes into these things, so you don't know why something might be pushed back as far as is being pushed back, or you don't know why something might be being delayed.
In a way, I mean, the only reason we found out that it was the main actor is because he released his own health information. The company
Right.
as a whole can't do anything like that because that's a HIPAA violation. You can't release your employees or anybody that's affiliated with you their medical records. What they could have done is put out a press release saying, hey, we have some important matters that we're taking care of, with the game and with the staff or whoever you want to say. You don't have to name names. You don't have to do anything. Just we're having some changes in the companies. Whatever you wanted to basically give you an out to say, hey, we're just not going to release it right now. And we're sorry. We do apologize, but it's highly important, and we just ask for fans to understand. And most fans should go, okay, well, they kind of said, hey, there's something big and important. So, yeah, speculate all you want. Who gives a fuck? But they at least told you, hey, this is what's happening. Not just the game's broken or we can't get it to do this or whatever. It's just like, hey, there's something important that has backtracked us just a small tad. And it's nothing against you guys, not something that I don't want to do, but, just gave a benefit of the doubt, But again, my biggest thing is when I say boo to not to the companies that say, hey, I just delayed. More so the companies that go, hey, I have a game idea. Here's a little trailer of what we're working on. We don't know when we're going to release it, but stay tuned. Like, okay, cool. So you're kind of giving me some in for what you're marketing, but at the same time, you're not giving me anything. You're just basically saying, we're doing a job. Great. I don't care that you're doing your job. Show me the results of your job. When people come to my job, they don't go, oh, so you've done mechanics work, so that must mean you're really good. No, they go, show me that you're good. Tell me that you're good. Actually sell me on the product versus anything else. And I sell service. So I have to go out and show customers what they have, what they see, their damage, all that stuff. So for me, it's a show and tell. And for them, it's the same thing. It's a show and tell. They have to show their consumer what they're doing, and then an expected result at the end of it, not just
most
hey.
of the time they're just telling.
Yes, they're just
And
telling you.
They're just telling, not really actually showing any results.
Yeah, it's like going to a car mechanic and saying, yes, your struts are damaged. And they go, well, how can you tell? They're just damaged.
Yeah, you don't trust that mechanic.
You don't trust that mechanic.
Don't give that mechanic your
Right.
money. Go to get a second opinion.
Right. So why would I want to trust a game that's going to say, oh, yeah, this game's going to be awesome. Take a look. And then you look at it and you go, okay, show me that it's going to be awesome. What else do you have that can prove that it's going to be awesome rather than just a fucking quick video?
And guess what? On God of War, they've shown a lot of stuff that shows that it's going to be it looks
great
really fucking
gameplay,
awesome.
great stuff. They've actually shown you stuff that's actually going to work
And guess
out.
what? It's going to be delayed a little bit now because they got to make sure that they have the right guy to finish off
Yeah.
of what they're doing for their final touches.
Like, hey, we're trying to take care of you guys, but we're also trying to take care of our staff. And I respect a company who's going to take care of their staff and
Hey,
say, I back my guys up.
Who will take a hit on both profit
Yeah.
and I guess reputation. Reputation in some ways, and hopefully they get a boost in reputation in other ways on
Yeah.
that one. But it's one of those. Yeah, they're willing to take a hit because they go, no, this is the way that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We're gonna have to do it And you know what? The company there, they probably weren't expecting death threats, which is, again, never acceptable. But
No.
you know what? They were probably expecting some boos. And they were probably prepared for that. And they're like, we understand.
Yeah.
Boo if you want.
Yeah, boo if you want, but who
But
cares?
this is what we got to do.
Yeah, but if you're going to send death threats, like even the games, the developers who'll sit there and say, you know, well, we don't have a release date, but here's a little thing. I'd never sell them a death threat. I'm just not going to buy their game. I wouldn't care if it's the best game ever. I just wouldn't buy it until maybe like 4 or 5 years when it gets discounted to like $30, and I go, well, you didn't make $60 off of me. You'll make $30, and I'll play your game and I'll enjoy it, but I'm not going to give you the full amount just because of the simple fact that you fucked around with me for a little bit and said, oh, you're a dumb consumer. You know, don't be a dumb consumer. Get games. Developers should be held to a consumer standpoint, but the developer should hold consumers to a expectation. There's all about expectations. Like, hey, we are going to release a game on this day. That's my expectation for you guys to have an expectation of me. Then the consumer goes, okay, well, we expect it to be on this day. Once you're a developer and you don't give an expectation, you just go, hey, check this out. Like, that consumer now has an expectation of the developer versus the other way around. So in a business standpoint, it doesn't
Yeah, but you
work
also
out.
have to consider too, like investors want to know what their money is going into.
That's what they have investor meetings for, not just E3 to show consumers, because E3 is more so for consumers, not investors.
Their investors, yeah.
Has nothing to do with investors. An investor meeting is completely private. That's for investors to know what's coming out like afterwards. That's why you see, you know, investor meetings at like big corporations and in hotel rooms or, you know, boardrooms or something like that. They don't do this in a flashy setting where they're releasing it to the public.
I would say that it does, just on the grounds that it's showing a demand for this product.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I mean, in a way, because I mean, if you're an established developer, you know that you're probably going to have a demand for certain things. You know, I mean, yeah, you can sit there and say, like God of War, like they could have put it out, said, "Hey, God of War is going to come out," but they should have probably already had an idea of like their time frame on what they're going to do. Like, hey, you know, our game development for God of War last time took us 5 years to do, and this was for a new PS4 console. Well, this God of War, we're going to use pretty much the same map, the same everything. It's just going to be switched around a little bit because it's the kind of realm you're playing in. You know, you're playing in Midgard, so you'll have a little bit of different stuff, but the reality is still going to be the same. Like, it'll take us about 5 years to make this, get all the voice acting, get all the other stuff that's going to be played in it, and then send it out to you guys. And then that's your time frame. Hey, in 5 years' time, this is what we're going to get to. So, yeah, if you put out a little teaser like, hey, this is what we're doing, the expectation is in 2025, if they release this in 2020, you know, hey, like in 2025, we should see a final product. Cool. You at least gave me a date. You at least told me this is my time frame. This is the expectation I'm setting for you to understand this is when my game's going to come out. Now, if I don't meet that deadline, I should have a good excuse. You know, hey, the game's not working. It just didn't work out our way. Okay, well, as a consumer, I have a choice now to say, well, fuck you. I don't want to wait, so I'm going to go somewhere else. And now the developer has two choices. One, get better at making their games faster or within their time frames that they establish. Or two, make sure that they don't put out shitty games like that. Like Cyberpunk. I can't fucking stand Cyberpunk just for that simple reason. That the developer basically kept just saying, I can't make this happen. And we had to wait till this time when the technology was just right and bullshit. You guys just didn't want to put out a shitty game. And you had problems with your AI. And you had problems with the clipping and the graphics and all the other shit that you wanted to fucking improve on. Shit, Mass Effect was huge, and that they had great graphics. But again, we're on the concept of, I want to see their fucking pores coming out of their vagina. Why? Why do you want to see that? What's the point in that? There's no point. I see the back of their forehead the whole time, like Skyrim. I don't.
The back of their forehead.
Yeah.
Back of the head, I think, is what he was aiming
No,
for.
the back of their forehead, because
I
it
wanna
zooms
see-
into their fucking
I
head,
wanna
and then you
see
see
right
the
through
back
the
of their
skull,
forehead,
yeah.
and you see their eyeballs. That's what I'm trying to make the joke at. Jesus Christ. I was trying to make it light, because Jesus, this is getting real serious.
Ugh.
In Cyberpunk, you really do.
The developers of Cyberpunk, and it really
What?
You broke up.
Beta?
by the key testers, they just weren't allowed to fix it. It was pushed out by a different company.
Peter, I'm going to need you to repeat what you just said because you like totally cut out.
Yeah, I'm on a phone.
Wait,
So
what?
what I was saying is, you really shouldn't put all of this weight for stuff like the Cyberpunk completely on the game devs themselves. Especially with that, they did find all of the bugs that were present in the launch for Cyberpunk 2077. The QA team found that. Those bugs should have been worked on. They weren't allowed to be worked on. They launched the game in an unfinished state because it had been something like 12 years since they had announced it. Yes, I understand what you're saying. It was like, oh, you can't announce a game too early. But it is just to show, hey, this game's on the way. Hope you get excited about it. It's not like they're saying, hey, go pre-order this game 12 years in advance. This isn't Duke Nukem fucking Forever or anything like that. You can't... basically, like, the mindset you're throwing out seems kind of detrimental to the actual game devs themselves on the grounds that they're already dealing with shit like crunch time for trying to meet rushed deadlines. It just seems a bit excessive. You're putting stress on people that don't need it.
No, I'm not just putting it on the developers themselves. I mean, you make a good point that it's not just the developers. I mean, it's the management staff, it's the company that has the developers, it's the testers, it's the Q&A people who do that stuff. Like, as a whole team, as a business, and when I say developer, I more so mean the whole the business of developing. So like God of War, like Santa Monica, those are the guys that do the developing, the production staff, and all that other stuff. Those guys are responsible as a whole team. The game could be done right now. Like, the whole development staff could be done, and they're just fixing any bugs that the Q&A are finding. But the release date has been postponed because either they're working on the voice acting or whatever it might be that they're working on. But again, it's more so down to the fact that as a production company, development company, you are setting expectations and deadline for yourself, not only yourself, but for the consumers to be excited. Because yes, you can, I mean, shit, our conversation just about a game coming out and saying, yeah, it'll be released sometime. Yeah, that gets people excited. But if you sat there and said, hey, our expectation for this game is to come out in 5 years, most people are going to be like, oh shit, like this is about to come out. Like 5 years, yeah, for a game it seems kind of excessively long, but in reality, like, okay, I'll be ready for this. Like, I may pre-order this, I might get excited. So as an investor, you might actually see a benefit for giving a certain time frame. Yes, it's a time crunch. Yes, these production facilities are going to be held to a certain standard and expectation from the consumers. But at the same time, like, as long as you're keeping up with your community and you're making them feel a little bit more included and doing certain things, like, you'll probably profit. I mean, the biggest example right now that I have for this would be more so like a game called not Squad, but Ground Branch. It's a mill sim shooter. Basically, you kind of go around, and they put out a workable game. It actually works. It's a fun game to play, and it works perfectly fine. But they're looking to do a lot of updates and a lot of stuff that's coming out. And a lot of the people, they're losing a lot of their following strictly because they keep saying that they're going to do stuff. And they keep saying they're going to do stuff. And they keep saying they're going to do stuff. And there's no expectation. There's no like, hey, so we're going to release this probably at the end of December, and this is when our release date to a full game or to a new map or to a new set of features. It's just like, hey, so we're going to be putting out some updates later on. Stay tuned. Hey, I know you haven't got any updates, but just stay tuned. They're coming. 5 months later, hey, I know you guys haven't gotten many updates. We've done an update to kind of do some nice software to make it look a little better. But stay tuned, and they're losing a lot of following just because they keep doing that. There's no expectation for a full game. There's no expectation for some type of resolution in the game itself for what you played and what you put your time into. Because I put a lot of time into it, and I actually stopped playing it strictly because of that. Because they kept telling us, like, we're going to update it.
Updates are coming, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to sit on a game and keep playing it and play the same map over and over again to be told, oh yeah, updates are going to be coming soon. And soon, and to me, for a game that's already out, would be a month, 2 months, and it could be just design features, like a new set of gear that you put on or a different map or something. But just fart in the wind, nothing happens. It just smells like shit. So it's not necessarily the developers who are doing the actual developing and writing code, just more so the development company, the production company that would be putting out these expectations.
I can understand your point if so let's take KOTOR, for example. Mm-hmm. There have been, since we last talked, there have been 2 or 3 little, like, updates or showcases. If at every single one of those they brought the same thing and we're like, oh yeah, we're working on this. Yeah, that would really irritate me. But they sent out one video and then the guy said, okay, it's going to be a while before you see anything else, but we just wanted to let you know that this is something we're working on. But I'm telling you now, it's going to be a little while. Like, he came out and said that.
Yeah, what's a little while?
He doesn't have an exact time frame. That's the thing. When they're first starting the development, they don't understand how quickly they're going to be able to get everything done. It's not like each individual thing has a set amount of time. Like, oh, rendering Revan's model will take us 2 weeks or anything like that. They have to work on it and find the issues as they go.
Yeah, but I mean, you're saying that, again, we're going through it's a total remaster idea that they're just basically working it from the ground up. But most people would assume, and I'm going to assume, that they're probably going to take most of their code that they already have and just tweak it and edit it and make it new, and then write in some new things to put in better graphics and better design and a swoop here and a slash here that might not have been in the original game. But you're still going to be using almost identical character models. You're going to be just kind of rendering them a little bit different. Yeah, it might take a little while, but essentially it's the same game. You're going to play the same story. What kind of script are you trying to write? What type of story are you trying to tell that's already been told?
Well, I mean, from the sounds of it, it sounded like they were kind of rewriting the story, because they said that it was going to honor the story, but they were changing stuff.
I mean,
No, I remember closer to like the Final Fantasy remake, like Final Fantasy VII remake, than it is to like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Right.
Because Crash, they did use a lot of the original code and actually fucked the game up in the new engine.
right.
But with Final Fantasy VII, that is a completely new game built from the ground up.
Correct. Which is basically what they're doing with KOTOR. Is they were like, okay, here is the basic outline of this game, and started from square two.
And
Right.
Again, that's why I think I'm with Tom on this one, though, is get to square 4 out of 6 before
tell
you
me.
say something.
But that's the thing, is they don't know how many squares there are.
Yet they wasted all this time on making a video for you to get excited for.
Well,
Whoa.
like we said the last time we talked about this, it seems like the whole reason they even announced that the KOTOR remaster was happening to begin with is because it had been leaked online. So they're like, yeah, fuck it, we're just going to tell you it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. But they should have just
Most
said that.
people wanted to get that information for longer. They've been dropping hints about Revan for a while. They were probably going to keep dropping hints about Revan until they finally had something to actually present to us.
Right, and then all they presented to you was a video of his mask getting lit up.
Because it got leaked.
Yeah, and I mean, that's silly to me. I mean, you're going to spend money to do a CGI rendering of a helmet, being lit up, and you're going, oh my god, this is KOTOR, yay. But
With KOTOR specifically, though, like he said, like the information had been leaked. So in that specific case, it was more of like a trying to get ahead of the curve, because they didn't want.
I'm not trying to interrupt, but what curve?
So they didn't want like something to get out that wasn't controlled by them. So by doing it this way, they can say, hey, look, this is a thing we're working on. Here it is. Instead of some random image floating out there that they can't control the narrative on.
I would just
Well,
say,
When they announced Metroid Prime 4, I was like, I don't give a shit. All you've done is tell me that there's a game on the way.
Right.
Give me more information.
but I mean, I wouldn't, as a game developer, if there's some random image that came out and was like, oh, the game might go this way, I'd have been like, I guess you'll never know until it comes out. You guys shouldn't have freaking stole that image or taken that image, or maybe one of my staff shouldn't have done this, because that's not the way the game's going to go.
I actually think that's better viral marketing,
Yeah.
honestly. They're like, oh, that gets you so many more rumors. People are like, oh, I'm pretty sure this leaked. Well, I think they're developing it. And if you neither confirm nor deny that, you're like, I don't know, maybe we should do something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe we should do
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that right there could have probably sparked a lot more traction than just going, yeah, so here's a video, and then going, it's going to be released sometime. And then we're all
but
kind of
look at
stuck.
How bad leaks can affect games like that. Look at what happened with Last of Us Part 2. The entire plot got leaked, and that game definitely sold worse than it should have because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, how did the plot get leaked?
Well, the plot got leaked actually by disgruntled workers. They were refusing to release the game, so they weren't getting their the bonuses that they were supposed to get from it.
Uh-huh.
So one of the workers released the entire script online, so that they would be forced to release the game sooner.
Yeah, well, there you go. So it wasn't the fact that you just met my point. The developer said, this is the time that we're going to release this game. And then for whatever reason, they decided not to release that game. And the actual developers got upset that the game didn't get released and that they didn't get their bonuses and that they didn't make money on the shit that they were told, hey, if you crunch really hard on to get this money, now all of a sudden you're not going to get it. Yeah, I would do the same thing as that fucking developer. I'd be like, fuck you. I'm going to release the whole plot to this motherfucker just to fucking spite you. Because at that
I'm
point,
not going to get my bonus. You're not going to get
yours. Yeah. Why are you going to make money off of something that you told me I was going to make money off of? Fuck you. Like, I would just release it. So I support that, but that's a disgruntled employee inside the actual production company going, hey, like, you fucked me over, and I don't respect a company like that. Because why are you not taking care of your people? Why are you not holding yourself to an accountable standard when you told your own company, your own workers to do exactly that? Like shit, like, I mean, I'm a boss. I tell my workers, hey, get this done for me as quickly as you can, but as safely as you can. If they can't do it, I go out and do it. I get it done. And I show them that it's possible. And the same thing with the developer. Like, they got the work done. They showed the company that it was done, and the company said, well, we're not going to release it. And the developer was like, I'll release it. I'll show you how it's done. And that's how it works.
The reason they didn't want to release it is because of the pandemic itself. Most stores were still in lockdown. We wouldn't have been able to sell it. It would not have been able to sell on the original release date. Most game stores were shut down at the time.
But that would have made it so much more viable. If they said it's released, but you have to wait for stores to open up, or only release it to specific stores that were open. Oh my God, they would have made so much money. Because people probably would have gone out and bought it just to fucking buy the game. Just because it was released.
Yeah, but that
it's also a moral thing. Don't encourage people to go out in the middle of a pandemic.
I wouldn't encourage people. I would just say it's released.
Yeah, but that fucks,
guess what? You can buy a digital.
Yeah, you can buy a digital. But as a consumer and a business runner, there are stipulations that you have to understand. I don't go to a store and expect 100%, grade A service for a fucking $20 steak. Like, give me $100 steak and I'll expect you to, suck on my toes a little bit. But when it comes down to a $20 steak, a fucking, Texas Roadhouse or some shit like that, I'm not going to go out of my way to go, hey.
Have you seen Texas Roadhouse prices lately? They are not $20 steaks.
Oh, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they're more
everyone's
expensive.
prices have gone up.
Well, yeah, because of inflation.
Meat's gone up
shit,
by about 250%.
Yeah, but I mean, in reality, when we're talking about just a steak at Texas Roadhouse before everybody stopped going out, you're talking $20 steak, and I'm not looking at the server asking them for the number, fucking 10,000 servers that they've given today to be perfect. I'm just going, yeah, hey, bring me a iced tea if you can, please. And then they bring it over, and I say, thank you. I'll clean up my own goddamn mess, too, after I'm done eating. Stack all the plates and make it nice and even, because why?
Actually, I'll say as somebody that works in the room service industry, don't stack the fucking plates.
Why is that?
Because I have a way to stack it that will make it easier for me to get it back to the kitchen. If you stack it, you fuck up my balance.
How do you normally stack it?
Well, there's lots of different ways to do it. But it depends on what plates they are. It depends on what utensils you have with you. It depends on everything like that.
If we're talking that, honestly, if it's just a flat plate and maybe I have a bowl or two, it's plate, bowl.
The problem is you stack it right then. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Most people, when they help, actually.
Yeah, they do
plate,
bowl, plate, and then
and
try and figure
two
something
spoons
else.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
I'll put all this stuff on side. Say again.
Wouldn't you, with stacking that, wouldn't you just want to go from the largest thing to the smallest thing? Isn't that what everyone does?
Not necessarily.
Not always. You kind of want to do a balancing act with everything. So if you have cups or something, you're probably not going to put them on the plates. If you have shot glasses, you could probably put them on the plates. Actually, they're easy.
Definitely.
But you don't do that just for the simple fact that you don't want to drop those shot glasses. Yeah. But anybody coming up to clean that shouldn't pick that up. Shouldn't.
I will say we've tangented pretty hard.
That was just for us to go off on a different tangent to kind of wrap everything up. But no, from the standpoint of the gaming development stuff, the Santa Monica going after everybody and telling them, hey, look, we're delaying the game, and they didn't have to give a reason. I respect that, and I'm not upset about it. And then when the actor had to come out and do that because people were getting death threats, I think that's unacceptable. And I'm it's sad that he had to come out and say his own health history for people to go, oh, and then, teach people a lesson. At the same time, a gaming production facility or company needs to have expectations on what they're going to do for the consumers, as well as what they're going to do for themselves and their own company and take care of their people. And that's basically my biggest point. What has everybody else got?
I would say, specifically with defending KOTOR, it is pretty much probably just got announced because of the leak. It doesn't matter what the reason was for the leak. They wanted to control the narrative after how bad some leaks have been for publicity for games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's check this out. Tom, you're up first.
Does
What are you checking out?
I assumed his God of War article was his hey, check this out.
no.
No, that was a separate thing he wanted to talk about.
My question
he,
is,
he has a ridiculous hey, check this out.
Oh, cool.
Oh yes, I have questions.
Does Shaggy,
I don't have answers.
Does Shaggy from Scooby-Doo have sex with Scooby? That's my, hey, check this out. So there's a video that I found on YouTube, and it's basically from, it's actually on WB Kids.
It's from an episode.
And it's from an episode of Scooby-Doo. And I guess they're out doing something, and basically you can hear Shaggy, like, rustling in some bushes. And Scooby's like, oh, I gotta go help him. So he goes jumping through the bushes, and you see him, like, skidding across the ground. But you see Velma and Shaggy making out. And then Scooby sees it, and then you hear them kind of like straighten themselves and kind of like get off of each other. And then they kind of get up, and Shaggy walks up to Scooby. He's like, hey, pal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And basically Scooby asks, are you cheating on me?
I think the saddest part is that I've seen that episode because from the one of the more recent Scooby-Doo shows, Mystery Incorporated.
Yes.
Yeah, it gets real weird with relationship throughout the show.
So the question that Zach came up with, the same question I came up with, is Shaggy fucking Scooby?
Is that what that means?
Like,
you can't cheat on somebody unless you're in a romantic relationship with them.
And I said maybe it's just a best friend thing.
Do you make out with your best friend? I hope not. Unless I'm your best friend.
The show very much does try to play it as the best friend thing, but they don't do a great job and comes off very strange.
Here's the thing,
because
I think-
they're making out at first, so
Well,
it's not a best friend thing.
Does Scooby make out with Shaggy? And yet, maybe they don't fuck. I don't care if they don't fuck. That's fine.
I think you guys just
Are they making out?
don't get it because you're guys, but like girls, like if our best friend gets a different best friend, like we get real jealous. We're
Yeah,
like,
but again,
who's this bitch?
I
Are
don't
you
get
making out?
I don't get
You
jealous.
don't know that?
I don't get
Might
jealous.
be.
I don't get jealous of one of my boys getting laid, unless because Saturdays are for the boys though. No, that's not true. I'm not one of those people. But it's like I'm not gonna get your. If my best friend started dating a girl or not even dating her, just making out with her on the couch, and I walk in and I don't go, "Are you cheating on me? You're cheating on me right now. You're with another person."
I mean, as a joke, I might do that.
I was about to say, if you don't do that the next time we go visit your boy, I'm gonna be real sad.
It's definitely happening now because it is going to be a funny joke. But I would never be serious about it. I guess is the point I'm making there.
Are you cheating on me? Only we used to make out like that. I can't believe you're doing that with her.
Oh, that's totally going to happen. And his wife is going to laugh her ass off. It's going to be real funny.
No, but I truly do think that Shaggy's fucking Scooby, and he's an animal rapist.
Hey, no, that seems consensual. Scooby is really upset that he's cheating on him.
Yeah.
That's definitely consensual. There's no animal rape. That's just bestiality.
In the eyes of the law, that's animal rape.
No, it's just bestiality. It's different.
Animals can't consent.
Scooby can talk.
Scooby can talk. Scooby can talk.
Scooby is trained. You don't know if he's trained to say that or if he's actually like a free will and free body mind.
Scooby doesn't seem that
Is
trained.
this some Stockholm syndrome shit then?
It might be. I mean, he is a dog.
Are you cheating on me? Where are my Scooby snacks? Ooh.
Zach, you're up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay, mine is
Follow that up.
not nearly as good in some respects, better in others. I wish I knew the little old lady's name, but it's a video of a little old lady, and this little lady's got a fucking knife, and this knife has a CO2 cartridge inside of it. So this little lady is stabbing shit and blowing it up, and it's kind of fantastic.
Oh, just for fun?
Oh yeah, just
okay, yeah.
just stupid shit. Like I guess her grandson or something like that. Like he's like, hey, get on my YouTube channel, Grandma, and she's like, why, Billy? And he's like, I give you here's this knife, stab shit with it, and you push this button. She goes, okay, and it blows up like a watermelon. And blows up a gallon of milk. Oh, it's stupid shit, but she is having the time of her fucking life, and it's amazing.
I'll have to watch it.
Links will be in the show notes. Mine is, since it's Spooky-tober.
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 It's October.
So
Spooky season. I'll
it
accept
is
either one of those.
the 20th season of the Haunted Mansion makeover at Disneyland. So every year they redo it in Disneyland as the Nightmare Before Christmas. And they always do like a gingerbread house in the ballroom scene. And so in honor of the 20th season of doing this, they took like bits and pieces from every Haunted Mansion and our gingerbread house and like smushed them in there. So it's a really cool video just kind of showing you the behind the scenes of them making that. And it's just really cool. And I love spooky season. Peter, what do you got, Peter?
Mine was significantly less thought out. There was recently a released Firefly comic from Boom Studios. They're a great publisher. I enjoy most comics from them, so y'all should check that out.
You said most comics. Was this one of them?
I have not actually read this one. I'm just excited for it.
Okay.
Monsters. How dare you?
Either that or the Charlie Day, like, It's Always Sunny speech, but with Luigi over it.
That was great. That was great.
And at the time, I hadn't seen the Nintendo Direct, and I was very confused.
That's even better.
All right, so if you're following along with us in Clouder Club, next week will be Star Wars Visions, episodes 1 through 3.
I've watched these.
You've already watched them?
None of the Star Wars Vision stuff. I was
She
so
hasn't let
excited.
me watch them yet.
I know, I watched them.
She hasn't let me watch them yet. I'm so fucking pissed.
Ouch, yeah.
Well, I've watched them all like 4 times now.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Right?
They're so good.
They are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm upset. I want to see these.
I never said you couldn't watch them.
Yes, you did. 100%.
Yeah.
You're like,
Watch them with
"Why
me.
You literally said that.
What I said. Anyway, so that'll be next week.
Sucks to be you, Zach.
So until next time, it sucks to be me.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.